Okay, we should be live. Lovely. This might be a little bit scuffed. I think I got everything for the titles and everything, but I didn't know which game I was casting until very recently. This is Icathia versus Bandle City. I think Shimmer is a double elim, but I need to make sure because they have different bracket types depending on which league you're in. And theoretically, we're going to get into the game a lot faster than normal because we didn't see the early part of this. But unfortunately, I am like Batman. I do need prep time, so the stream quality might not be as good as it could be otherwise. I'm also going to experiment and see if I can cast the draft from the blue bottle thing. We may not be able to. Oh, and if blue bottle's still not working, that's really inconvenient too. Oh. It got rid of my booze bass picture, but it looks like it's working.
You don't have the heart for this. I'll come back stronger.
I see you lack judgment.
It's thinking about working.
Hello, Elation. I've been sent back to duo cast with you because Creatine Caucasian will be casting with Cam.
Who is creating Caucasian? Oh, I see.
I have no idea who that is.
That is a very cursed name. So I haven't really talked about the draft yet.
Can you stream, like in here?
I can. Do you need me to stream the game as well?
Yeah, that would be preferred, actually.
You were thrown out of the lobby very rudely.
Yes. I suppose I could join. I could spectate someone else who's in the game. Is Colonel Combo in it?
Yes.
Okay. I can't see the draft, but I think I should be able to spectate Colonel Combo to get into the game once it starts.
Can you see my stream on Discord?
Yes, I can.
So this was the original draft here.
The original draft?
Yeah, because they're doing the in-game right now. And I have another layout for the in-one, actually, or the in-game one. I really wish it would not do that. I like Windows 11 a lot. I'm a big fan. Okay. So it was a first pick Yunara, who I think is just quite strong in team play right now. And then Kaisa Morgana with the mid lane Morgana in response, which is just really popular right now. People seem to like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the Seraphina Mumu in response. So I think this is like the most standard early game draft you could get, like possible below like Masters games or something.
I'm not entirely familiar with any competitive meta at the moment, but this does look like a pretty solid team.
I do think the team, especially as far as like not being like literally challenger games or something, I think this one looks super good to execute because you scale super well with like this core right here. And then you have a strong top laner that can get ahead, but will also be able to theoretically play from behind with a little bit of jungle assistance. Ryze, I think, is a little bit of a standout because he's really hard to play, or at least theoretically really hard to play. But Ryze is really good right now. He's played a lot of the time in pro. Mm-hmm. This team on the right, I think it looks like okay. It has a lot of engage, but I think that engage might not be easy to execute because it's kind of just Nautilus.
Yeah, you have to go in with either Nautilus or I guess Nefiri, and then you follow it up with Galio Ultimate, and you Morgana Shield whoever you can, and then Kaisa maybe ults in. But it just seems very difficult to dive Darius, Amumu, Ryze, and even like Seraphine.
Yeah, and they don't really have the front to back kind of style that you'd normally want to see. They don't have like a very strong mid lane mage with it, and they just have like Kaisa. So like they have to go for the dive, but I don't know how the Galio, for example, is gonna like ever do anything because he kind of has to play for peel along with the Morgana, but they're not peeling anything because they lose so hard front to back.
Yeah, they kind of need to. I think they just have to dive in and then get a kill on hopefully Yunara. If they can kill the Yunara really early off of like the beginning of the dive, I think that's pretty good. Because I think that their team runs out of steam pretty quickly after like let's say Nautilus goes in or Nefiri goes in and Galio ults. They just kind of die if they don't win after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
Because
that what might has to like maybe there's an option. Not saying that she should actually do this, but I think the Fury has to build like Zonia's first and just pretend to be a tank on the engage because like I do not know how else they plan to actually fight anything.
we'll have to see. As always, there's the volatility factor. You never know. Perhaps we'll be seeing some unique forms of execution in this particular game.
And also, I mean, especially with how these games can get sometimes, especially below like Arcane, people are just out of position all the time. So I think this Morgana and Nautilus could be like really good picks if you're just looking around the map. Like, maybe Ryze or Darius are just too far up in their side lane, so you can get a kill there and then rotate for the rest of the team. I think that's the problem though with Icathia's comp is I think if you're relying on the enemy team to make mistakes, that means that maybe it happens 3 or 4 times and then they notice what's happening and then they can just clean up their act. Where I think if it's Icathia that gets behind, they don't have like a very clear solution to their problems really. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the best part that Icathia has going for them is that if someone is caught out, or even like not too far caught out, like if they're posturing in mid lane while their team is trying to set up for dragon or something, you have so much setup with that Galio Neferi and Kaisa, they can get on you so quickly, and then the Nautilus Morgana can look for like CC or something before a fight. But I think, but I also don't think Bandle City has played the cleanest in the world, so maybe Icathia can be looking for things with that, and maybe this is like a high damage Galio, but I think if Galio goes, oh, it's a Galio top, is it?
I think it's Nefiri top. I think it's Nefiri top Galio mid. Because I recall Nefiri being a pretty, I don't want to say common top laner, but more common than Galio, at the very least.
I am so confused because that would mean Morgana's jungle, but Morgana's like the flavor of the month mid pick.
Oh, that is true. Actually, that's a good point. I have no idea where anyone's going anymore.
This is going
Could
to
it be
be a fun
Nautilus
game
jungle?
to watch.
Is that even playable still? Didn't they buff Nautilus's like jungle like a little while ago? I don't even know if you can still clear the jungle.
Yeah, I mean they buffed it, but it looked really bad. Like I think people tried it for like a week and then they didn't really like
And
it.
it was terrible, right? That's what like I recall it being horrible. Like you still can't clear the jungle. I think they buffed his like W or something against monsters. But it's like, yeah, I have no idea where. I mean, if you send Galio top, then you lose so much of the Galio ult pressure down bot lane for the fights. That just seems really bad to me, right? So certainly it has to be Nautilus top. No, Nautilus Morgana is jungle. Morgana is jungling, and
God,
then
that
it's
is
Nautilus
so weird.
support, and the Fury is top.
That's a really early lock for Morgana jungle. I'm surprised. I wonder if that was like initially a flex pick or something.
Possibly, I think that could have been the case. They were just looking to flex the Morgana pick somewhere.
I do believe blue bottle might not work. Oh, no. I just had to refresh it for some reason. We are so back.
It looks like we're going to have an invade coming out from. I'm not going to remember who's on which side. Nazuma is on the left. Is blue.
I'll have to switch sides
No.
too.
Whatever. There's a giant fight coming down. A giant, huge Galio taunt onto 5 people. Blue team forced to flash away here. run away with their tails tucked. An early kill going to the way of Nefiri in the Darius matchup, who will also not have flash early. 3 flashes blown for 0, and a kill going over a really disastrous level 1 from the blue or from Icathia here.
That might be huge for this top lane matchup as well, because I think normally when you see this kind of a Neferi and a Darius matchup, you're really scared that the Neferi could get behind. But with this early kill, maybe, oh my god.
It is Galio top against Darius.
Oh no.
Now that is not something we see every day, is it?
I was gonna say you're scared to see the Neferi get behind Darius, but I think you're more afraid to see the Galio get behind Darius. That matchup is really bad.
Yeah, I can't fathom how the Galio is going to survive. Probably if he ever E's in at all, or even tries to E out, he might just get run down by the Darius. He may not have flash, but I think the Nefiri top might have been better. I would have expected Galio to be mid against the Rise, but this is innovation at its finest. And this is what we talked about pre-game, right? This is the X factor in some of these games.
And somehow everyone was wrong. I don't think anyone expected the Galio to be top with the Morgana jungle. I thought, like, if anything, it's like if they're not doing the Morgana jungle, it's like Morgana mid Nefiri jungle. But like, I cannot because didn't they? I guess they didn't counterpick top. Who was last? Oh, yeah, the Nefiri was last pick. So they last picked Nefiri for the counterpick, I guess. But Nefiri's not even very good into Rise, right? Because the counterpick is just not great.
It's not great at all. I think there's worse things you can play into Rise than Nefiri, but Nefiri is up there. I think most assassins struggle into Rise, and the dogs in this case don't give her much of an advantage because Rise can just E her, and then the Q will chain it off of the dogs into her anyway, so she can't even use the dogs to body block any damage.
I am hoping this fixes itself because normally it does. So
it has.
Okay.
And it looks like we're back in it here. Nautilus lands a hook on the Seraphine, snares her up. Kaisa not able to get the passive proc, forced to back away from the Yunara, going to take a lot of damage on the back end here as they're going to look to extend the fight on the side of Icathia.
I do need
huge trade coming down on the bot lane.
The teams are backwards. I do need to flip them. It's going to take away.
They?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I should just say blue team and red team.
I love last second setups for casting. I might actually need to completely close blue bottle.
But that massive trade is going to give... Oh, is there a fight happening both top lane and mid lane? Nefiri forced to use flash to get away from the Amumu here. Kaisa very low under the tower, but her jungler is pathing to the top side, going to be down bot lane, weathering the abuse for a while here while Morgana clears up.
With these bat matchups too, when you have that Nautilus, if you fall behind, the game starts to feel really unplayable. Kai'Sa's one of these ADCs that you feel like okay because her early damage is so high that you can make up for it a little bit. But I think that once you see this Seraphine and Yunara get ahead, if you don't win engages with the Nautilus, his role in this game becomes really unclear because the only person he can like look for hooks on is if he's really far behind is maybe like the Rise if they have a numbers advantage. But almost every other situation, the hooks are going to be bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nautilus from behind, not great. Typically, we see a lot of Nautilus players rack up huge amount of deaths when they are behind trying to take those hooks in. And it looks like the blue team is building themselves a pretty sizable lead. These matchups are not going great for them.
This matchup top is so unplayable. You cannot watch in the lane.
Extremely difficult. And the Nefiri is struggling too. You can't help but wonder if maybe red teams swapped themselves into 2 losing matchups when they had 2 winning ones to begin with.
I think what they have to do is just keep their heads in the game. Maybe look for a swap later, but they do still have this same comp that maybe you can look and run around the map for good picks and everything like that. So I don't think a comp like this is ever necessarily out of the game, but they're definitely relying a lot more on Bandle City to make mistakes than actually trying to do something themselves.
Mm-hmm. And we're going to have to keep our eyes out for possibly a mistake down on the bot side. Nautilus and Morgana, a lot of pick power here. If they can find a pick right before the dragon, they may be able to turn that into a Drake that may help keep them in the game if they get enough Drakes. Nautilus going to get snared up as he goes for the cannon here. Takes almost half of the HP. Cthulhu maybe getting a bit too greedy here for that cannon minion.
The match is not looking any easier at the moment, I think. I think what Icathia really likes right now, though, even when their mid laner is behind like this, I think around this Darius specifically, he's going to eventually get such a big lead that Morgana will have to go up there. But I don't think she ever actually wants to go up there, because then your Nautilus bot will never be up in numbers and he'll have to go top to make some kind of play. But then your Kais is just left in lane by herself into Yunara's Seraphine, and not only will she struggle to farm, but she won't even be able to play around her power spikes.
Do you think there's any viable strat here where perhaps we can see Icathia switch their mid and top at this stage of the game for a slightly better matchup?
I think that would be really smart. I think what would be actually genius, if they swap the Galio with the Kaisa Nautilus, all of a sudden Kaisa Nautilus can shut down the Darius really well. And then the Galio is a really good weak side champion. So I think like that would be a great strategy. The problem is that you kind of need prio in both lanes, and both lanes are kind of losing right now. So that's not going to be difficult to do, or that's not going to be easy to do.
Yeah, it may take a CS deficit to make that happen. It's quite... I don't think the Scalio is ever going to have prio in that lane. Unfortunately for the side of Icathia here, and Nefiri is also just taking a beating from the Rise here.
Yeah, playing a melee, especially going out of your way to play a melee into Rise, can be pretty difficult. Although the CS is still on the side of Nefiri, shockingly, but I think if you're losing this much prio against a Rise, it can feel really bad for your team.
Amumu lurking around the top lane, see if he can find anything. Darius taken quite low by the Galio, actually, who might find himself in an advantage here for the first time in the game. Colonel Combo, not paying attention, almost goes down there to the Rise W under his own tower.
Almost getting himself clipped. That would have been very unfortunate. And actually,
Galio,
I'm so shocked that the Darius is losing this top matchup all of a sudden.
It could just be that perhaps he took a single bad trade, but Galio's trying to freeze here, but he's not going to have the mana to stay in lane for much longer. He's going to have to find some time to recall after Darius returns to lane, and might end up undoing any advantage he gets from the freeze.
And Buzosaurus here is topside. He might try to path down to contest this dragon, but this next wave for Galio should be pushing out, so he is at a lot of risk right now, actually. Oh, yeah, and this wave will be slowly pushing out, so Buzosaurus has a big window to do something mid and top.
Oh, but look at that. Buzosaurus going in on Colonel Combo here. Colonel Combo has Flash, does not have W, uses the W now, still has Flash, flashes out at the last second, baits in Buzosaurus, who goes down, and Rise is forced to flash away from the Morgana. Perhaps not entirely necessary, as the Nefiri was already out of the fight here. Kaisa cleanses the Seraphine ultimate, manages to get away. Quite a bit of action here, and we see that it's, I don't know what BC is, but blue team really doing a lot of work here to look for these early plays.
So I think Icathia is on the left and Bandle City is on the right. Oh, we have another fight.
Oh, Bandle. Okay, well, red and blue team. Red and blue team. Galio ulting in from the mid lane here to try to help with the fight. Takes down the Rise at the last second, goes in, lands a taunt on both members of the enemy bot lane. Nautilus lands the ult over the wall but misses the Q. Galio gets a double kill, taking down the Seraphine. Morgana very low, but it looks like red team will be able to secure this dragon for themselves unless Amumu is able to go for some kind of steal, but no, he's taunted up. Yunara forced to flash out as Amumu is left alone on the side. And oh, but the Morgana Q misses, it won't matter, and Amumu goes down to 3 people trying to contest the dragon. And this might just have been what red team was looking for to get into this game.
I think that this is exactly what you don't want for Icathia as well, because when they see that the matchups that they have, they really want to make sure that not only do they stay, oh, they're actually going to contest. That is crazy. They're trying to do this immediately after doing Dragon.
Morgana eats the hook, doesn't shield in time, snares the Rise, tries to run away. Darius has the 5 stacks, pops the Ghost, hits her with another auto, and is going to take down the Morgana, picking up a shutdown for himself and securing the grubs for his team. red team maybe getting a little overconfident after that dragon fight.
I was going to say red team was playing that really well because they matched everything that blue team was trying to do on the map there. The problem that they had, though, is just extending the play a little bit too long. You know, you stopped the mid play, the bot play looked fine, and then you were able to win the dragon fight. So if you just recall, you should be fine.
Actually, Colonel Combo going in on the Darius, choosing Kite the other way. W's to dodge the Darius Q, but it's not enough as the ult takes him down. You have to wonder if maybe taking that extended trade against the Darius as an Fury was not the wisest idea.
And now that Darius is really far ahead of almost everyone in the game, and I don't think anyone is actually going to be able to match him in the side lane. They're going to need multiple people to ever try to answer him.
Yeah, the Darius, absolutely terrifying now. Initially, you know, I thought that perhaps the Galio getting double kill would be enough to let him play in the top lane, but Darius just picks up 2 more kills right after that and is actually ahead once again.
I think the situation is getting much more even than it looked like it was going to be for blue team. For blue team, especially when you see that dragon fight is a loss, I think that's when you think the game is just about to spiral out of control. But honestly, I think Darius has kind of clawed his entire team's way back in this game by not only making sure that Grubs doesn't go down and getting a few kills there, but also winning top lane so hard now that no one can really address it in a safe way. Oh my god, Galio's going full AP.
Is he really? Oh my.
That is
Swiftness boots and AP. We'll have to see what that turns into. Possibly just a Rift Maker here.
I think what that's going to turn into is a lot of deaths. That is going to be impossible to lane against.
A double snare followed by a double ult by the Seraphine who flashes in. Kaisa tries to ult out as Morgana is here to help. A TP coming down from Ryze as they're going to try to fight. Morgana ults but gets snared. Blue team loses 2 after landing the huge Seraphine engage here. Just too many members of red team here to collapse on that play. And what looked like a huge play from blue actually turns into a 0-for-2 trade favoring red.
Wait, did the I think I may have fixed the titles actually. Let me make sure really quick. Combo is on Icathia. So yes, okay, the names are accurate now. Bandle City is on the left and Icathia is on the right.
Okay, Icathia is on the right. And it looks like we're starting to see a kind of pattern shape up here, where Icathia is doing very well in all of these major fights and skirmishes, but whenever they're not fighting, they're just hemorrhaging gold across the map.
It's also that I think when you overextend a play like that, like we saw in Grubs, that's a really bad sign for the future of the game, because those plays will start to get punished more and more. And I think that if they don't take really good reset timers, especially in this game, their comp gets punished really hard if they're not as strong as possible at all times.
That may be true, but if they're able to win every single fight, perhaps there is hope for them. Yeah, Darius forced to flash away here from Galio as Morgana is here to help. A snare lands on Kaisa, who actually eased forward to look for the fight. Chase forced to burn exhaust to try to escape. As Morgana flashes away from the Amumu, dodges the Q.
What?
Colonel Combo's going for a dive, takes down the Darius under the tower, giving him his first death of the game. And 3 members of red team are going to be top lane to see if they can pressure some tower damage. Ryze actually ulted in under the tower. Amumu ult lands onto the Galio who's tanking tower, but he flashes out, manages to escape. Unfortunately, Combo not able to do the same as he goes down to the last tower shot. Morgana lands a huge snare on the Ryze, who also goes down. And it's a complete disaster from the side of Bandle City, who lose 4 members for 1 Colonel Combo in the top lane.
That was so insanely back and forth. I thought for sure Icathia was not going to find anything, and then Combo went for a really good dive, which I thought was like really good threat assessment to know he can do that before the Darius heals or pulls. And then all of a sudden it looks like Galio's going to die under turret because they cleared the wave so quickly, and then all of a sudden the play turns bad again as they try to finish off the kills. I think that Bandle City still feels fine. Luckily, they do have the 5v5 potential to come back. But as Darius's lead is slipping more and more, and Icathia is focusing more on that top lane, I don't know if Bandle City will have a winning condition until they actually find really good neutral fights to take.
Indeed, and it looks like Bandle City is really struggling with these fights now. Every single fight. Perhaps it's just the X factor. Perhaps we can come to the conclusion that the CC from the Morgana and the Nautilus and the Galio is just too difficult for Bandle City to play around.
There's also another really key thing that's a very common issue for teams. If you don't identify that you cannot run into Icathia, then all of a sudden Icathia has a lot better ways to actually fight.
Colonel Combo going on the Rise here, actually. Morgana here to help. Rise pops the phase rush, is able to just run away. Half health for half health trade mid.
Both junglers just kind of hanging out now mid lane. Making sure their laners are fine, I suppose.
Company. Little double date happening here as Icathia looks to start up the dragon.
Now it's almost symmetrical. Both junglers walking to their the neutral objectives that they can get at the moment. Although Galio's behind top here, I wonder if they're going to try to look for something.
It may be difficult because we still see that Morgana is on the bottom side of the map. Galio just kind of spectating from the side here in a bush. It looks like Icathia is going to try to contest this, perhaps. Rise going in, but Morgana misses the Q. Nefiri interrupts the recall, but it's not going to be in time, as Darius is going to pick himself up a Rift Herald.
I think Bandle City has to identify that they need to play slow. They have a lot of champions that benefit a lot, and trying to run into the Galio Morgana is, in most situations, basically impossible. And then the Rise also will benefit a lot from something like the Galio or the Nefiri trying to engage on his team. But I think that can kind of be the bait on Amumu, is it can feel really weird to not look for engages.
We're dropping the Herald top, a TP coming down from the Nefiri. 3 people on the side of Icathia here to defend, but the tower goes down anyway. And that is first turret to the side of Bandle City.
I think that's a lot of pressure relieved for them. I think that they really don't want to lose feats, at least at this point in the game. But I think that Bandle City, so the bait that you can run into in Amumu a lot is if you see a good bandage toss, you think, oh, I should just take this, I can land a 3-man ultimate, whatever. But if they play too fast, they just won't have damage to back them up. And the side of Icathia really needs them to run into them. But as long as they play slow or get to objectives first, I think they're looking really good.
Exactly, I was about to mention that too. Rise actually getting caught out here, forced to flash, but it's not enough. He's going to go down anyway, as a TP is coming down from the red team onto the Yunara, who's not going to be able to get the kill on the Nautilus. Now Seraphine's in danger, going to eat a Galio taunt despite flashing knocked up, and he's going to go down. Kaisa picking up a triple kill.
So I think that pick nature that Icathia has is really paying off right now. The ability to just throw that Nautilus hook out early that pick was just immediately happening. It looked super good, but also,
Colonel Combo going in deeper, uses the W to escape. A massive tower dive here, and it looks like Bandle City is just crumbling under the pressure of this Nautilus, Morgana, and Galio, the pick power here. A TP coming down. They might look for the Nautilus here. Darius pops the ghost, still has the hook, and Nautilus is just going to go down to the Darius, who picks up a shutdown for himself, but there's 3 members of the red team here to try to contest. He's going to get out. A huge Rise ult here, able to evacuate the Darius out just in time.
that was a really smart play. I think that they were worried, because if Darius goes down, you lose so much pressure on the map. He's kind of almost their entire team at this point, to be honest, with the amount of pressure that he has. So on Bandle City, when you have this kind of comp, I think that you cannot ever get picked, and that's what Icathia is amazing at looking for. And Katie played that last fight so insanely well, not only opening with the hook, but also seeing the Yunara is out of position trying to help. So that's basically 2 picks for the price of 1. And then the flash in later from Sua to find the last pick there. All of a sudden you have 3 kills, which looked like it was nothing initially.
Exactly, and honestly, Icathia has been doing a great job of utilizing that pick comp to build themselves up an early lead here. It looks like there's going to be a fight. Yunara trying to take the fight, but maybe not the best idea when you're 0-3 against a 6-0 Kaisa.
Yeah,
Can we have another kill over to the side of Daddy's working?
Bandle City needs to stabilize really bad right now. This is what teams are quite poor at doing most of the time, is just identifying that, guys, let's just stop doing things.
Might actually be getting caught out here. Uses the W to dodge the first bandage toss, and it's not going to be any follow-up from Busasaurus.
sometimes you just need to be hitting minions because the kills look bad for Bandle City, and I think that's what they're focusing on. But being so far behind in farm as well is going to be really punishing for these lanes. They at least need to just hit minions and make sure the gold is going to, at least in a ratio to each other, come back a little bit. But the more plays they look for, the more fights that Icathia is going to get, and they're just going to lose the fights because they're so far behind.
Indeed.
I don't know what Bandle City is looking for here. Icathia really just doesn't need to walk in.
Current combo really playing on the edge here, toying with his food almost. Extremely confident play.
I think Bandle
On the
City
Fury here.
really wants to contest the Otacon or even try to... Whoa, this is really
And
aggressive.
Colonel Combo is going in on the Darius here. Might be able to take him down before anyone on his team gets here. He does get it, but he's going to eat the slow. Forced to flash away. He's going to get chased down by the Yunara, who pops the Ghost for it. On the back end, Rise gets snared by the Morgana, who also presses our Colonel Combo. Goes in on the Seraphine, eats the Seraphine ult, but has the Galio ult to help him. Yunara eats the Nautilus hook. Going to get cut up, but no members here to follow up. Morgana hits the Mumu with a binding, and it's just going to be another rout. A giant Nautilus hook, and Bandle City gets wiped. 5-0.
So Combo is just the GOAT or what? The way he played that fight was really, really good. Opening the fight with the pick on Darius, going pretty far in to avoid the rest of Bandle City there, and then when Bandle City actually collapsed, he was able to run, get out, and then with the ult from Sua, didn't drop below like half health there. That was insanely well played, and I think after that kind of fight, Bandle City is really desperate now because now you're losing Soul Point and Otacon.
Phenomenal gameplay, honestly. I agree. Colonel Combo played that extremely well there. Saves his W, doesn't panic, dodges the Seraphine ult, and honestly just picks a huge winning fight for his team. And I honestly think this lead at this point may be insurmountable. You have to ask yourself, does Bandle City have what it takes to get back in the game? And I don't think they do. Colonel Combo going to get engaged on by the Darius out of the bush. Darius hits 5 stacks. Colonel Combo taken very low. Goes down, gives the shutdown to the Yunara.
Yunara getting that feels so huge. First kill of the game actually here. But also, once Yunara is on about 3 items, she will feel like a real champion at that point. She is so far behind Kai'Sa at this point that I think it feels bad to take any fights. But once Yunara is really in this game, all of a sudden I think they might actually win 5v5s, which is really far out of the picture, I think, if they don't find that pick.
Certainly.
Also, that pick that Combo got, by the way, bot lane there, that wasn't even Combo being super far ahead of Darius or anything like that. They basically had the same amount of gold on that engage. Combo just took a really good fight and played it very well. Combo might be insane.
Yeah, he landed a ton of poke damage on Darius with the Qs, and then identified that he had lethal right there and just went for it. No hesitation. It looks like Hockey Boy here might be in a bit of trouble. Easton flashes into the knockup. What an absolute disaster here from the Rise. A TP coming out top lane. Darius might get cut out here by 3 members of Red Team, and he just goes down without a fight, perhaps. Yes. And it is the end for Darius.
I think that feels horrible because Rise with no flash is pretty hard to play in this game, but losing it like that is pretty unfortunate. I don't think it was like actually atrocious. I think Sua was like, that dash was going to miss.
Cthulhu with the flash hook onto the minion.
We are using flashes. We're at the point in the game, I guess, where we're using flashes. We need to get them on cooldown right now.
Ambition is to be applauded, I think. They say you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, and you also miss 100% of the shots that you take into the minions.
We have seen there's a 100% failure rate for the last few flashes in the game. Flashes may be a bait ability. Actually,
True,
Ghost
maybe
is
a
the
good
meta
idea
now.
for Darius to use his flash right now, just to make sure he does not get baited later on.
I do like that Darius is bot side here. You see that a lot of Icathia is top side, so maybe you can apply some pressure on the bot side here, relieve your team to maybe get some vision top or bot side anywhere they're able to go. But I think if Bandle City needs to play really passive though on the top side, they're absolutely able to get dove. So if they go up a little bit too far here, that honestly could mean borderline the game, because I think a lot
Speaking
of
of
turrets would
going
fall
up,
over.
Chase under tower walks up, gets engaged on by Colonel Combo, but it looks like Yunara is going to be able to go in. Colonel Combo goes down to the Yunara, who gets ulted over the wall by the Nautilus. Morgana lands a Q over the wall, but there's no follow-up here, no flashes, no way of getting back over, and it's just going to be a death from Colonel Combo as Darius is knocking on the bot tier 2 of Icathia here, who are forced to recall, thus alleviating their pressure. He takes the 860 gold inner tower, and then he dips out
That ult from Chase
just
was
in time for
essential
Baron.
of saving the game. If that ult missed, honestly, they might lose turrets, Baron. They could lose a lot on the map, but because they land that, as the fight goes on, Combo does go down, and all the pressure on the map is relieved, and Darius gets the bot turret. So maybe it's not enough to make them feel relieved and like they're winning the game at this point, but it's enough to at least make them feel like they're in it.
Certainly, we're seeing they're really managing to claw themselves back into the game here. A really impressive performance the last couple of hours, not hours, the last couple of minutes here from Bandle City.
It's a long game.
But we're coming up on a breaking point soon. Baron is up at the moment, but more importantly, the Hex Drake Soul will be coming up soon for the side of Icathia.
Bandle City, they have to fight for this, but Darius is topside here, so it's going to be 45. Even if Darius gets that top tier 2, I really don't think it's worth it for them. Because, I mean, if you're playing against this Soul, against Kai'Sa and Morgana, I really just don't think it'll be playable. And it doesn't look like Darius wants to head down, so if they just lose this, honestly, by itself, that might just mean the game.
It is going to be an engage here. They find the Yunara, who just goes down instantaneously. Everyone is CC'd, everyone is taunted up, and there's nothing that Bandle City can do, and they're just routed once again, going down 4 members for 0. Rise trying to get the portal, not able to do anything as Darius is going down to Colonel Combo in the top and just taking him so low, and it's going to be a soul for the side of Icathia, and 4 deaths for the side of Bandle City.
That feels so bad because obviously the fight went bad and you're going to lose the soul, but also Darius didn't even get the top turret anyway. And because they lose the fight so hard, that's probably going to mean Baron on top of it. So I think Bandle City is feeling pretty terrible right now.
Yeah, that fight might just be the nail in the coffin for Bandle City here. The Icathia are going to help themselves to the Baron virtually uncontested.
It doesn't look like Bandle City wants to give it for free, though. They kind of look like they're heading in that direction, but they didn't take the portal, so I don't actually know if they want to.
It doesn't look like it. Darius is heading bot lane with the Rise so they can share some of the XP that's down there. And I need to ask, Galatian, do you think there's any way left for Bandle City to find their way back into this game?
Yeah, absolutely. Honestly, a lot of teams just don't play in clean enough to make games just completely over, because Icathia is still taking engages sometimes that look really sketchy, or they don't have the vision to do some of the plays they do. If Bandle City just relaxes and looks for very clean plays, eventually you will just notice Icathia is doing something really sloppy, and maybe you can play for that instead of, you know, just trying to match Icathia all over the map. And maybe you just like try to you know, get good vision down, because over the top side right now they have such good vision, and they in a second they might know to our bot, so you know, maybe they could look for a pick on top side, and then all of a sudden Icathia might try to hold turrets that they can't do, and then just start falling over faster and losing a bunch of turrets. But I think that requires Bandle City to not get tilted and to look for plays, which can be really hard sometimes in games like this.
It looks like they're gonna look for... Oh, Kai'Sa eats the Seraphine ult, but just has cleanse. Nautilus might be in trouble here. Darius going in on him. Morgana trying to flash in, forced to use the Zhonya's early here, as it looks like Icathia is going to start chasing, re-engaging here. Darius caught out in the middle of 5 people, goes down instantaneously. A Mumu ult, but it's not enough. No kills go down, as Yunara going to instantly die on the side. Chase is the only one left, and he goes down as well. And it looks like that's going to be the game for Icathia, who takes the first win of the series.
Really good idea, I think, from Chase to try to save the game there. Just at the very end, it goes for that ult. Kai'Sa uses cleanse, and the play is just over at that point, but it's super hard to identify that, especially when the game is this close. You just feel like you have to make every play that you can, and they just were unable to do that.
Certainly, and you can't fault them for it. Sometimes it just takes a Hail Mary. I saw the vision there going in on the going in with the Darius on the Nautilus, but they are just too behind. They don't have the juice, and they just get routed the moment the rest of Icathia shows up.
Wow, I did not. I almost felt for sure that we were going to see a lot of damage from combo there. I thought combo would have the highest damage of the game by far, but obviously Kai'Sa was super fed. But the way that combo was fighting Darius all the time, I thought that he might get farther ahead, especially with the amount of health that Darius has. But I guess Daddy's working, just an unstoppable force this game.
Daddy was working indeed, carrying his team with the 23,000 damage in the bottom lane. Honestly, though, a great team effort from the side of Icathia, playing the pick comp almost perfectly to accrue themselves that one lead and then just using it to bulldoze through Bandle City.
I think it was a very good attempt, honestly, to keep playing that game on the side of Bandle City. I think that as the game went on, it felt worse and worse. And a lot of teams, once you see it, that you'll see them just stop fighting ever, or you'll see them just take every fight no matter what, because either way, it's kind of a form of giving up. But it didn't look like they ever really gave up. Even the play at the end looked like it could be good. So I like that their mental is still in the game. And if your mental is still that high going into the second game, a lot of the time when players have big leads, they just overestimate their damage going into second games. So if they're able to keep their head in the game right now, maybe they can look for a big comeback here.
Yeah, certainly. We're gonna have to see what Bandle City cooks up for game 2 here. It is Fearless draft, so Colonel Combo might not have access to the Neferi in the second game.
Switch to this really fast. I can re-invite you to the lobby.
Yes, please do. And I'm going to run to the bathroom really quickly.
Wow, the honor punishments are crazy. Let's see if I can find this. Okay, chat. In between games here, I'm going to use you guys to vent for a second. Actually, let me make sure I have the draft link at least open to make sure they're not in it. They should say R whenever they're actually going to start. Let me just make sure. Okay, does not look like they have started. So I was a little bit triggered because this week I played a game on Varus, right? I was filled bot and I'm like, okay, like I'll just play my bot main. It's whatever. And then my grandma stopped by my house, right? And she only stopped by like 4 minutes or whatever. So I had to go talk to her, for the 4 minutes. AFK, I knew I'd get DC'd. It's whatever. Then I come back to the game. I relog whatever. I'm behind like 3 levels or whatever, but I keep my head in the game. We win the game in the end. I'm being positive, all that kind of good stuff. After the game, I lose 3 honor levels and I'm banned for 10 hours or something. That was probably the most depressing experience I've ever had. I would imagine the bans are going to stay the same unless maybe there was a smolder ban last time. I didn't pay too much attention to the bans last time because I was still getting everything set up. Looks like the sides are going to swap again, so let me make sure that is proper in the software. Yes, it is. And also, I have had 4 cups of tea, so I should be able to keep my head in the game. I actually looked at the ticket thing for reversing it, and they said that none of those are reversed. It has to be like a really long suspension for it to be reversed. It said play 10 ARAM games to recover my honor level, so I'm hoping that will be enough. First pick Volibear for Icathia. Volibear honestly has been a big threat, I would say, in Shimmer and Chemtech. A lot of the time that champion's super hard to play against and kite away. And because of how his Q works, if you CC him, it can actually be really bad for you. Bandle City going Renekton and Ashe. Renekton, obviously just a really safe blind pick in top lane. Does lose to a few things, but most of the time will not lose too hard to where he can't do anything for his team later. And Renekton also able to play with basically every play style, except for maybe poke, but he can still side lane and everything with it, so it's not too bad. And Ashe also locked with it. Another champion that can be played with basically anything. Did Grant just ban himself from chat?
I am back now. You see the first 3 champions, some pretty standard drafts here.
Who just banned
Nothing
Grant?
too out of the ordinary.
Looks like this seems pretty normal. I would say the Sivir and Volibear. I think that when you see those two locked together, Icathia is just going to go a full engage comp, which I think are a lot harder to execute a lot of the time, and maybe Bandle City will identify that. But especially with the Hecarim. So Icathia is just running fast. And I think, okay, so I guess Bandle City also knew it was a Volibear top, which is why they do the Renekton, but I would not have guessed that was a Volibear top.
Yeah, we'll have to see what their response is here to the Sivir and to the Hecarim. Probably
That,
going to pick jungle here, I
what?
imagine. A twisted fate. There is no way we just drafted TF into Sivir, Volibear, and Hecarim.
And we just blinded it too, so every mage basically mid is still open. So TF might struggle a little bit in this game, I would say, if Icathia is able to identify how to beat it. But I guess Bandle City is going a little bit like Icathia was doing last game, where they have a lot of pick potential with the Ashe and the TF. So, Ashe can look for good vision in the enemy jungle, and then maybe look for an ult, or TF can ult him himself. And then maybe they play a jungle with that as well that is quite aggressive and can look for plays with those two. But I think not only are they a bit low damage right now, but I don't even know who on Icathia you want to even try to pick, because all three of those are not great targets to look for. It's like the Diana and Rek'Sai ban. Not sure what the Diana ban is for. Maybe just for mid lane with the Karma
I
for
believe it's
bot
for
lane?
mid lane. Yeah, I believe it's Karma because they don't want Hecarim to go faster, and Diana because TF loses hard to Diana. Though TF loses hard mid to a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
things if you are not good at TF, so it may be a bit concerning here that we've drafted TF this early in the draft. It could be a comfort pick for Bandle City's mid laner. We'll have to see.
that was a very scary pick in the TF, because even into like a really common mid laners like Syndra and Ori, he can be really hard to play. And I think the reason a lot of time, like, he's been played in pro a lot, don't get me wrong, especially recently, but TF is one of those champions that is normally just shining in solo queue all the time, because he punishes people just being out of position, and you can just move all of the map, all over the map whenever you need to. But I think in team play like this, you have to be really on the same page where you want that TF to be. And I think just having a winning mid lane will be better a lot of the time. Although I do really love the Renata pick there on 4.
Yeah, Renata, quite a lot of value here as Milio not quite as good for his team. So we definitely see that Bandle City does seem to be winning out on the support pick at the very least. Yasuo, there is no way. We just locked Yasuo here. That is very interesting.
I think
Yasuo does beat TF.
he does. I think both team comps are going to make me throw up though. So I don't like Icathia's team comp because they lack a lot of AP, which is like quite bad to look at in this specific scenario. But all of a sudden, Bandle City locks Kindred on 5, so they don't actually really have a frontliner for that even to matter. Because if, for example, Randuin's is like a monstrous item this game, especially if Hecarim or Volibear is going to buy Sundered Sky, for example. But because Bandle City now just has like 4 range champions in Renekton, they don't really have a great 5v5 to even look for a strong frontline with. But Icathia's comp also, I like the first 3 picks a lot with how they work together, but I also think that Yasuo can really struggle playing with comps that not only don't have a lot of knockups, but Yasuo doesn't like playing insanely fast. He doesn't want to like just go into a fight instantly ult or anything like that, because he's not going to find a very good ult. It might just get blown up in the front line because all the cooldowns are still up. And especially against a team like Bandle City, who have 4 pieces of CC that are really bad for Yasuo. He really doesn't want to like just go in immediately while everything is still up. But I think that Kindred pick on 5 for Bandle City will like make that almost not matter at all, because I think all of Bandle City is going to get one shot if Kindred doesn't ult them. And even if Kindred ults them, they're fighting against Hecarim Volibear inside of Kindred ult, which is really hard because they're just going to heal while you're just dying.
Yeah, though it is notable that if they can bring them low enough to the threshold, Kindred ult actually prevents healing once you drop to the death prevention threshold.
Oh, really? I had no idea.
Once you drop to 10% HP in Kindred ult, you can no longer be healed or take damage.
Interesting.
And then the Kindred ult will heal you at the very end. So it's not the worst. And it's the only reason why Kindred is like not terrible against like more bruisery teams.
Oh, and
We
I
do
guess
know,
that's okay into Milio as well. Oh, but the Milio, I didn't even think about how good the Milio is here because all the CC that Bandle City has is all of a sudden not very good.
yeah, I think I honestly really don't like Bandle City's draft here. I mean, we can argue that perhaps it is possible, right? Ashe, pretty good against Sivir, manages to outrange her. If you can find like a big enough early lead, perhaps you can stop Sivir from playing the game, but Sivir can't always just one-shot the wave, right? And we do know that Kindred and TF are both quite potent against Hecarim. If they're able to pick off Hecarim in the jungle and put him behind, he is a very, very useless champion. And he is also one of the primary engage tools for Icathia, so we'll have to see if Bandle City is able to do anything with this Kindred. I honestly think this game is going to have to revolve around whether or not Kindred gets ahead.
I The weird thing about Kindred too, though, is waiting to last pick it and then like not picking tanks with it beforehand. I think that imagine if like on 5, first of all, like I don't think you save the jungle last pick for 5 here on red side, but even if you do, you can just lock it. Like if you went Skarner or Sedge here, both of those look really good. Even Amumu's gone, I suppose, but like any jungle tank, I think looks really good with that comp all of a sudden because you have the front line and you can play pretty well. Obviously the damage is a little bit low, but I mean the amount of pick potential is just insane with Ashe TF. But all of a sudden, like even looking for picks, it's going to be really, really risky. And actually, Icathia has a lot of ways of getting out of those situations as well because they do have the Sivir, the Milio, and then the 3 other people that are trying to like. If you're trying to find a pick on like Yasuo, Hecarim, or Volibear, it's probably not going to go very well. So
Yeah, I honestly would have expected a tank. Even something like Rammus would have been really good into the side of Icathia, who really don't have like a lot of mixed damage. If you just pick a tank, you stack armor, it's going to be very hard for them to kill you. Yasuo, known to struggle against armor stackers, and Sivir, not the highest damage AD carry in some of these fights, especially against tanks.
and Bandle
At
City
least until she
too.
gets more items.
Uh, I believe that top lane matchup is losing for Renekton into Volibear, especially like if the Renekton's not like insane at spacing. Mid lane is losing, and then bot lane is kind of winning, but not really because it's Sivir Milio, which is like a disgustingly safe bot lane. Like maybe you can look for opportunities with TF at some point in the game. Maybe Kindred can come down there. I think like the jungle matchup too is like I know people like playing Kindred into Hecarim sometimes, but I think that's also like a big solo queue thing where if Hecarim is coordinated with his team and has good vision, I don't think Kindred can slow down his tempo in the same way that she can in a solo queue with no communication.
Yeah, I think that Kindred into Hecarim is very good, especially in vacuum. But you consider that Kindred likely won't have mid or top prio this game, given how hard both Volibear and Yasuo push, and even maybe even no bot prio, depending on how hard Sivir is able to push and whether or not Ashe is able to get ahead. Playing Kindred with no prio is virtually impossible because you can't get your marks and you can't invade.
And even with the Renata pick, I think the problem with the Renata pick here is that it's like okay. I mean, it's great into the comp of Icathia. Don't get me wrong, super good into engage comps like this. The problem with it though is it's such a passive bot laner. All of a sudden, your only winning lane has no real way to like level 1, 2, 3. Just all out the other bot lane, get that big lead early that you see a lot of high level teams get. Because these two really need the Sivir and Milio to run into them, and Sivir and Milio never really have to. So I think Bandle City might struggle a bit. It's almost the exact same thing as last game though, right? Where I like Icathia's comp more, but if Icathia plays sloppy and Bandle City just finds picks with that TF and Ashe, all of a sudden Icathia's comp looks horrible.
Hmm. I mean, all of Icathia's champions, their comp looks great, but all of their champions from behind are extremely difficult to play. Playing Hecarim from behind, virtually impossible against Kindred, TF, Ashe. Playing Volibear from behind, not a lot of fun. And playing Yasuo from behind, well, until you hit 0-10, you're pretty useless.
Let's see what Icathia is going to try to try to attempt here. We are about in game. We got 20 seconds. Shout out to our sponsor, Colonel Combo. The game is definitely not rigged in his favor. And we're definitely not using his website right now. Let me switch to in-game when we start here. I think that my prediction would be Icathia just winning, but if Bandle City is able to look with the Kindred on the map, I could totally see them getting into the game in a big way. But I think that they have to go out of their way to do that. Oh my god, the first game didn't count and blue bottle, now it's backwards again. I'm gonna lose my mind. It thinks we're still in the first game. You are spectating now, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna fast forward. Does not look like anything is happening in the early game, no? Okay, I am at the farthest forward I can get to.
And I am also as fast forwarded as I can be.
Hopefully nothing happens in the early game while adjusting the scoreboard. I think we should be good now. Is this in the right order? Yes, it is. Okay. Gonna see a little fight on the
React and
top
getting
side
traded
here.
on level 2 by the Volibear goes very, very low under tower with 100 HP now. May even get tower dove. A pretty disastrous level 1 from the top laner here. And
This,
it looks like
oh no.
Volibear not going to go for it. Probably a good idea as Renekton just managed to level up.
Bandle City is under so much pressure because they almost have to win lanes, but their lanes are so hard to actually like try to do anything in. And wait, bot lane lost a trade really bad there, actually. Interesting.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
as we see, the TF mid blind is really struggling.
Yeah, there's just so many mid champions that were still up that are very good into TF, and I don't know how much combo plays Yasuo, but that is one of the champions that can make TF feel pretty unplayable in lane, to be honest. And then bot lane also not able to get a big lead early here, which is going to be a trouble. And then top lane was losing, but it looks like he's able to get... Oh, he actually reset. Oh, but both top laners reset here, actually. So
Handshaking an early reset. Volibear picking up a Dark Seal and Renekton picking up boots. That is interesting for sure. Boots not known for their great combat potential.
I think chat wants our attention. I don't know what makes me feel that.
I have no idea. I don't know why you'd think that, but it looks like there might be a fight coming out here. Kindred arrives first, ganks onto the Volibear, who tries to run down Hecarim now here, but Volibear taken very low, might not survive. Forced to flash, is going to go down, but Hecarim takes down the Renekton for it. Kindred also going very low to the Hecarim, who misses the second Q and is not going to get the kill. A 1-for-1 trade coming out in the top side.
Very
with
nearly a
flashes
disaster.
blown on both sides, indeed.
For both sides there, that looked really bad. At some point, Sua almost going down early in the fight, and then it would be likely that Manny would also go down. And then it looked like for a second that they were going to be able to turn it 2 kills for 0, but Sua did eventually go down in that bush, and Busaurus did secure the kill. So both kills on the junglers here, which is, I think, where they really need it too. I think if either of the junglers get ahead and they're able to out-tempo the other one, the game might just fall over for either team.
Truly. And we see here TF suffering a bit in the mid lane. No mana, no HP, quite homeless. Renekton taken quite low by the Volibear, staying into the trade, but Volibear tanks a tower shot, actually pushes the trade into the Renekton's favor. It looks like there's going to be a fight in the jungle. Busasaurus engaged on by the Hecarim, going to land the slow. Hockey Boy here able to zone off the Heck Room, who takes a huge chunk out of Kindred's health. You don't typically see Kindred's rushing Hearthbound Axe. Normally you see them rushing out the Berserker's Greaves just for that extra move speed and the extra movement. This Kindred, though, slightly atypical in that sense.
This is super weird because both junglers went to the bot scuttle there, but the way that first scuttle works is gives you about a quarter of the XP for any normal jungle camp. So if either of the junglers would have just cleared, they would have been finishing their first or their second clear now, and they'd be almost a full clear ahead of the other jungler. But because both junglers go for that scuttle, now both of them are actually pretty far behind, and they're not going to be as far ahead in the game as they would be otherwise in terms of like laners. So maybe the Hecarim won't be able to roll over the game if he gets super strong, but the way that he's able to roll over or run over the map now looks pretty impactful. They're going for bot drag without clearing topside first. That is scary.
They are going for a bot drag, and it's going to be seen by the Ashe as it looks like a Bandle City is going to come down to collapse. Chase trying to do some damage, not going to look. Kindred actually taking the opportunity possibly to push Yasuo out of the mid lane. Yasuo not at the fight, and all of Bandle City has arrived, but TF is low. Dragon taken by the Hecarim. Kindred going to get knocked up, ulted, and killed. Colonel Combo very low, eats the stun, not able to flash away. Hockey Boy also taken very low, getting chased down by the Hecarim, but there is an exhaust coming out. Sivir flashes. Daddy's working, able to pick up that kill for himself. And it now looks like Ashe is in the rough spot. Maybe not quite looking at her map there. Not seeing that the enemy team is chasing her team through the tri-bush there. An unexpected death coming from Ashe. And honestly, a disastrous fight for Bandle City.
I think Combo just flashed that way too to try to get the gold card to get blocked by Windwall, but gold card like curved in the air to follow the flash and just barely missed the Windwall. So that felt pretty unfortunate there. But both junglers are still trying to do their second clear. They're still not able to actually finish it.
Truly, Boozosaurus going to just go down, and now the Kindred is quite far behind. Hockey Boy also caught up Shit Creek without a shovel, and he's going to find himself fighting the Nautilus here while Milio is over the wall helping. He simply does no damage to the horse, who's just carving him apart with these Qs. And he will go down at long last as the Yasuo crashes another wave in the mid lane. And this game is looking extremely rough right out of the gate for Bandle City.
This is one of the biggest... Oh my... Huge fight here,
A
top.
big fight coming down. Volibear going quite low. Might have a W up again here. Renekton might look for the chase, but he's chasing into the entire enemy team, so he's not able to find anything.
These kind of games drive me crazy because this is kind of the bait of jungle, especially in team play. You feel like you have to impact every lane, you have to be there for every fight. But if either jungler were just full clearing right now, they'd be like 30 CS ahead of the other jungler at this point. And when you do that, you don't lose your timers. So while the other enemy jungle does like Dragon, for example, you can still gank with the timer later. It doesn't necessarily have to happen at the exact same time, but the other jungler will eventually have to clear again, and you'll be finishing your clear at that point. And because you don't interrupt your clear, that means that your next clear will also go so much smoother because all the timers are lined up together. But because neither jungler is like clearing super smoothly, I think Booz feels really pressured to invade because he's Kindred, but trying to invade Manny at this point is going to be impossible because Manny is really far ahead.
Combo might not have Windwall here, going to eat the stun, and he's going to just get wailed on by two members, and he's going to go down. Kindred picking up a second kill for herself, but only has one mark.
Bandle City is, they're going to need to find really smart ways to come back in this game specifically. The gold lead is not that insane, but I think that just the comp that Icathia has is so punishing when they're ahead, and Bandle City has really bad champions, to be honest, to try to deal with it. So I think that they need to look for really, really strong plays on sides of the map. But if Hecarim is anywhere, I think Hecarim will just roll over any fight, even if he's down in numbers. So you have to almost just do
Source
anything on the
might
other
be
side of
in
the map.
trouble here. Finds two people taking a tour in his jungle, going to get engaged on by the Hecarim, who begins chasing her down. Ults to go the other way. Feared flashes back under the tower, able to survive. As now Renekton is here fighting the Volibear. Goes in, Volibear taken quite low. As Bandle City is trying to chase Icathia out of their jungle. They're both going to go onto the blast cone, and they're going to try to get out with it. Will they get out?
Oh.
It's actually going to be a turn as Yasuo arrives. TF finds himself over the wall, no way to contribute. Manny manages to get away. Buzasaur is taken so low. Volibear goes down, and Yasuo able to ult the Renekton for a kill. TF not in position for that fight. Find himself just in the Baron pit, watching.
Hockey feels so horrible. It looked like they were going to take the blast cone, and then they just didn't. So he was unable to help at all.
A spectator in his own game there. A bit of a gross score moment.
And he goes down here at the end in the combo. That is like torture to watch. That is really unfortunate. And he wasn't quite able to reach over the wall and tried to wait for Kindred ult to at least run out before doing anything. But the second it did, his gold card timed out, so he just wasn't able to stun Hecarim, and Hecarim didn't die because of it.
Yeah, an extremely unfortunate set of events here for the side of Bandle City once again. Twisted Fate rushing Merc Treads into Wait, no. Okay, good. That's Renekton. I was gonna say, if he rushes Merc Treads into Yasuo, that would be quite an interesting choice.
Oh, I didn't even think of this. They're not going to, because this would be like a crazy thing to calm, I think. But Bandle City should for sure lane swap. Like, absolutely 100% of the time here, I think. Because TF is able to survive almost every lane. And then the Renekton's actually able to win mid. So even if you're taking the TF away from his
Combo
TF from this
going
lane.
in here. TF forced to flash away.
Get him out of this lane, please. He needs to be evacuated.
Really punishing this blind pick TF. It has to make you wonder, what was Bandle City's plan with the TF? What did they expect combo to play?
Putting that Renekton mid would have been actually genius in this situation, but
Kindred
I think
here running away from Yasuo, but might run into a bear from a bush. Gets taken so low, tries to flip away, has nothing to get out, and just goes down to Colonel Combo again, who is 5-2.
Booz is not having fun right now.
And this is that Kindred from behind. Volibear tries to run away here, is able to get out.
Are they swapping?
They do seem to be swapping, but it might be too little too late at this point. With how extremely ahead Yasuo is, and the fact that Renekton already built Merc Treads for himself.
Even worse too, I think that if Yas gets the turret, I can't see the turret health at the moment, but if that turret goes down or even goes close to down, Yasuo does not feel very pressured to stay mid at a certain point, and he's already 2 levels ahead anyway with more items, so... And then, as you said, the Merc Treads, so I don't know if Renekton's going to be able to do anything, but I think Renekton will still do
they're going to look for a pick on the Volibear here, who gets quite low, but has him. TF ults in with the gold card, and Kindred able to pick up another kill for herself, but it just seems to be a drop in the bucket here compared to how behind they are. I suppose every little bit counts when you're in poverty.
And they are still down 2 dragons and grubs, and I'm surprised actually they haven't lost feats yet. I don't think they have. They must have not, yeah, they didn't get the kill feat. But they have the, okay, so we're just waiting on first tower, I guess, but I can't imagine that Bandle City is going to be able to get first tower, especially the way mid is looking right now.
Yeah, Renekton not really able to contest, but Kindred is here to help. Colonel Combo might eat a stun here, actually. Gets chased down by the Kindred and by the Renekton, going to maybe look for a turn here. No, it looks like he's able to scare off both members of Icathia here. Kindred not really willing to take the smoke, going to retreat back into her jungle for some clears.
Am I not in, sorry, I think League just, I'm not actually in Borderless. I need to fix this real fast.
Notably, Kindred only has 2 marks 14 minutes into the game, which is extremely poor pacing for what you typically want on Kindred.
He's also only 81 CS here at about... Oh,
Renekton forced to pop ult to survive the Yasuo under the tower, but Colonel Kamo might be a bit too deep here, taken very low. forced to flash away from the Renata, and now he's being chased in the wrong side of the map. This is not where you want to be, Colonel Combo. He has no flash, nothing to get away with. Uses the wind wall to try to survive, but Kindred picks herself up a shutdown. Colonel Combo maybe a bit too ambitious there, trying to tower dive the Renekton with ultimate.
I do think getting the Kindred ahead too, as much as you can, is going to be really, really nice. The Kindred is actually ahead quite a bit in gold now from that shutdown, so maybe they can look to play around him, but I'm not sure if this game will get better as it goes on, because I think Hecarim can not only knock people out of the Kindred ult, but also just the fear can be really difficult to deal with when Kindred actually looks for anything, and I just don't think it's really possible to kite Icathia's comp even with that Ashe, so I like that Bandle City is able to make some progress here, but they're going to have to find a lot more to really get back in the game.
And speaking of a lot more, it looks like they're going to try to force Icathia off of the Herald here, and they're going to get it. Volibear actually eats the cross-map Ashe ult, forced to delay his farming for a little while. Hecarim pushing back in to look for the steal, not able to get it. Bandle City gets the Rift Herald, but does not pick it up. Boozosaurus is taken solo, but manages to pop the Kindred ult just in time. Gets exhausted at the tail end of it. Colonel Combo misses the Tornado, not able to find anything, but Volibear stuns up the Kindred, going to take her down as Bandle City is forced to run away, having not picked up the Herald. Volibear ult to chase down the Renekton, going to take him down as well. And Bandle City gets the Herald, but does not pick up the Eye, crucially, and so they're not able to gain any benefit from that. Kindred and Renekton sacrificing their lives for nothing to gain.
I was going to say for Bandle City, that looked really good for a second. If they're able to get the Eye there, they can actually look for first turret and then maybe feats, and maybe you can look for something to play around
Hockey
after
Boy
that.
here might be in a bit of trouble. Picks up a gold card, throws it into the wind wall. A redemption coming out, but it's not enough. Both the tower and TF go down 2 for 1 on the side of Icathia.
And that is feats of
Combo
strength
meal
completed.
here. TF is going to be the hors d'oeuvre. Quite unfortunate. And the game is just slipping further and further away from Bandle City. An Ashe ult coming out, going to hit the Yasuo, I believe, but not enough. No one to follow it up. Hecarim here to protect. And they're going to just help themselves to a serving of Kindred's jungle. Kindred forced to run to the top side, where Volibear set up his own little tent. Sees the Kindred coming, going to back off Kindred with no camps to take whatsoever. Going to turn her attention to possibly the mid farm here.
Ro can't even make it to lane to farm, and I think the game is going to feel so much worse because Bandle City's comp does not scale very well at all. The only person who's like okay in the late game is Kindred if you just get a bunch of stacks, but not able to find a lot here in the game, and also they're going to deal with a Sivir here who is coming up on 3 items pretty soon. So I think that Bandle City feels pretty... they feel pretty trapped right now. I think that they need to be kind of looking for the plays that Icathia found last game, where they're able to find good picks, but I think that they have to play so reactively right now because of the tempo of Icathia. I say that, though.
Looks like there's going to be a 3-man pick to see if they can get this Volibear here. He's going to get stunned. 3 people wailing on him. He's just going to die with no recourse for survival, as Bandle City may see if they can help themselves to this top lane turret. But unfortunately, Icathia is banging on their mid-inner. Renekton TPs in to try to defend. Manages to clear the wave. Possibly going to save this mid tower here. Another TP coming down from the TF who ults in. Milio eats the Ashe ult. Stunned up. Still has ultimate though. Eats a huge stun chain. But the Renata ult does not land in time and they're able to get away. But now Yasuo and Hecarim are both here. Colonel Combo just does so much damage. Going to just cut down Hockey Boy and Chase and his... They're going to help themselves to this mid tower. Ashe now caught out, forced to flash over, but eats the Yasuo ultimate. Yasuo exhausted, but dashes in. Now fighting Kindred and Ashe. Hits a double knock-up here. We're going to see if he's able to find anything. Misses the knock-up, but is able to help his team secure a Kindred kill. Possibly a bit greedy there, but exceptionally well played from Colonel Combo. Able to get his team an additional amount of kills. This Yasuo just does so much damage right now.
Combo this game and last game playing honestly really good mechanically. I'm surprised that honestly is not more ahead. I think it is just like getting a little bit greedy or too greedy sometimes, you know, pushing up to tower maybe a little bit too much. earlier in the game and then going for plays like that. But I think he's so hard to deal with because he's playing so on point right now that, especially when you have Bandle City's comp, you don't have a. I don't even know how you stop Yasuo from doing things if Renekton isn't there. I think that Yasuo almost has just free reign unless he goes too far up. Wait, is Volibear supposed to build Spirit Passage second here? I'm not convinced, but I guess it's fine. Gonna see a little fight top lane here. Sua almost getting caught out, but is able to get away. It looks like Bandle City might look for a play here. They definitely don't want to give Otacon. They just need to get vision of it to make sure that they can start contesting it once the debuff comes out. Looks like Icathia is just going to start it. And theoretically, honestly, it might just go their way.
The Assault coming in, hits the Volibear, Renekton goes in, but Hecarim lands a huge fear here. They're going to go in on Chase. Chase goes down instantly without ever being able to pop any cooldowns. No ult, it is just a complete slaughter.
Saying that a combo is playing really well mechanically, and then Manny lands a 4-man fear to open up that fight, and Bandle City just melts immediately. And I think that after this Otacon is gone, you don't have another fight like that where the enemy team is just going to be debuffed for free. So I don't know what they look for, to be honest, at this point. Again, it just has to be like individual picks, but now I think everyone on Icathia is so strong that there's really not an easy target to even look for. This is sad.
The Colonel combo just taking the tower in the face of the Ash, exhausts her and just cuts her to pieces. Bandle City just kind of crumbling now.
I am feeling the anxiety for Bandle City. It's either their anxiety or the 4 cups of tea I had to watch this game, but I think Bandle City now feeling like I don't even know what they try to look for. Like maybe they try to contest the next dragon because it's Soul, but I don't even think they have the option to fight over their own buffs, to be honest, at this point. They're so far behind, and Manny is just a monster at this point. If Hecarim's able to just run over your team, I think trying to deal with that champion specifically who's ahead just feels unbelievably difficult if you're a backliner.
Yes, Hecarim extremely strong when ahead, and Kindred opting to go for the higher damage, squishier build. Personally, I would have maybe wanted the Kindred to go the Triforce build just for that extra little bit of bulk, considering how squishy her team is. Though at this point, it may not make much of a difference anyway.
I think that on Bandle City, it's not ideal on Kindred or Ashe, but I think one of them has to build Bork.
Chase getting caught out here, stunned up, has the ult to try to get away, but he eats a soccer ball and is just going to die. Bailout, not going to bail her out here. As Renekton tries to fight the Yasuo, just doesn't have the damage, takes Yasuo pretty low, but Yasuo forced to flash from the Yasuo Q to not get knocked up. Colonel Combo actually flashes away from the Renekton, might be eating an Ashe ult here, able to wind wall it just in the nick of time as he's trying to run away, but TF is ulting behind him, he's trying to get out, maybe try to kill back, but he's stunned up and he goes down to the Kindred and 4 members of Bandle City.
Good play. They find someone on the map, but they do lose Soul for that, and he also is the only person who didn't have a shutdown in that situation, so they do find something, but
Venusaurus
not a lot.
flashing forward to see if they can find the kill on the Sua, but Sua just turns on her, takes her down to half HP instantaneously, and is just going to try to kill the Kindred. Volibear will have W to try to heal himself, ults for the health, and is going to just eat Kindred instantaneously. It bites her head off, TF trying to ult out. Volibear no stun, not able to stop them. Hecarim ults in, takes down the Ashe, who just goes down, immediately folds like wet toilet paper. Just nothing Bandle City can do as they're getting run down across the map.
Sua had a really, really fast QSS there on the TF stun, so just able to take that 1v2 actually really confidently. Didn't even look like he was scared for a second.
I did a QSS. That's crazy.
I respect it. You're against a lot of CC. I can see it.
It looks like they might be trying to take down Sua once again, but he turns as heals so much with each bite as Renekton desperately trying to get away. Hecarim gets stunned up under the tower, but he's just able to walk away. There's no damage coming out from the side of Bandle City as they maybe try to turn on this. Just a wild card hitting Sua as he bails out here. Bandle City just has no juice to try to get these picks with anymore, it looks like.
even Sua looks unkillable, and that's not even the final boss of the team. I really don't know what they do here, especially with Daddy's working, coming up on 3 items now. He's going to really start working now, and Bandle City is not going to be able to deal with a with that strong of a Sivir with basically 3 frontliners and an enchanter.
Indeed. Well, just if they don't die to the Yasuo or the Hecarim, they'll die to the Sivir bounces. It's really looking quite rough for Bandle City. We'll have to see if maybe they can make something happen. If there's a god, if you're a Bandle City supporter and you have a god to pray to, now might be the time to start praying.
I don't even. Oh, these games feel so bad because like I not only can you not look for a pick anymore, it's not even like worth it to flip the map anymore either because you lose like 1v3 now to the volley bear. So I mean, I guess like you just hover around, you hope someone just like dies or overstays or something, but maybe you just like all kill yourselves on the Sivir, you hope you get that shut down, and then you try to do something else on the map. I have no idea.
Also, there's going to be a Baron contest. Sua actually not here, but has TP, going to just push the bot lane. Ashe scouts it out with the Hawk Shot, throws the ult on the Manny, but it's not enough Kernel combos in the backline. Hecarim's in the backline, and they're just getting shredded. They're just getting torn apart once again, 5-0. Bandle City is just put into the ground. Sivir picking up a triple kill for herself. And Bandle City throws in the towel, going to call an FF. And that is a rough game.
30-10 with a 14k gold deficit. That game is really, really difficult to keep playing out. Obviously, the game was going to end there. I just don't. Oh man, that game. I think that they need to work on their comp before going into that one. But even with the way that game went, I don't actually know what they can do if they get that far behind early. Maybe like draft more for lanes or something. But oh man, that game looked really, really rough. I think that maybe like trying to draft mid lane last is a good idea if you know that Volley Bear is going top. But I don't even think the top matchup was good. So like I'm not sure what they should do going into the next game here.
Oh, it's a best of 5.
It is indeed a best of 5.
Oh, we'll have to see if their stamina holds out for this one.
And if this
It
next
was a
game
rough
ends,
first 2 games.
the next game ends within like a 30 minutes about, then technically I would be able to also cast the next game if no one else has called it, which I don't think anyone else has. Let's see if anyone
I
else did.
think was wasn't it's Asian Fool in the cast at 9 o'clock.
I don't know
I'm
if he
getting some
can.
water. Cheers.
Yeah, he can't even cast tonight. Oh no. Good luck getting water. I don't even. Chat, I'm not gonna lie. I don't even know if I could stand up right now to go get water. I've had way too much caffeine to stay up for this one. I thought the series was going to be really, really long, but obviously Icathia able to take 2 commanding leads. But honestly, a lot of the time, the early games don't matter an insane amount, but it is 3rd game now, so that they need to make sure that at least this last game is good for them. And I think they have a lot of picks still available for them, and also their comp can look better. So they still have a lot of movement that they can do. That feels a lot better than some situations where, to be honest, you're just far behind and then you draft it as best you can and you play it as best you can. And even when you get leads, you can lose sometimes. So this is not that situation though. So it's certainly not all over for them, but they definitely need to keep mental in and probably make sure their draft is clean as well. We are getting into draft soon here. See what the plan is for both teams here. Bandle City choosing to go blue side this time. I think that they have the option to choose because they lost last game, and now it is loser pick sides, I believe, here in the playoffs. See what else they decide to do here. So they did blind pick mid last time, so that lane is fine, but top lane might also get blinded, so maybe they try to last pick mid and top here, and then try to get the mid counter pick. Maybe they try to do last 2 as a bot lane and mid maybe. Try to see what they can do there. But I think the situation they're in is a little bit difficult, especially after last game, because in last game, their draft did not look, I would say, amazing, and they need to be able
They
to
first
collect
picking
themselves.
Silas.
This is not collecting themselves. This is not what I was imagining.
Silas, a very notable blind pick, first pick. You know, really locks the enemy out of picking that Malphite.
Specifically, Malphite.
Yeah, denies the Malphite pick pretty hard. Also, not bad into Mel. You know, if you throw the chains into her and she shields them, she pulls himself into you, and something something, you win.
Maybe it's a Mel bot or something like that. I think that Mel is one of these champions, though, that like I think Mel is really overrated, to be honest, in a lot of these games. She can feel quite bad, to be honest, in many situations. And then, especially in this situation, like playing Mel into Silas, not only the reflect, but just like Silas as a champion is so annoying mid lane. Like sometimes he just kills you in ridiculous situations. And I think that like expecting Mel, to, like surely it's not a Mel mid, right? Even though that almost has to be a Silas mid, I would imagine. Unless they're doing jungle, I guess it's like playable jungle,
A
but
triple AP first three coming out. Perhaps we'll get a full mage game.
oh no. Quadruple bloodletters game.
But I'll probably see a jungle pick coming out here, right? Unless that's Silas jungle. Kha'Zix is up. It does beat Lilia.
I'm really hoping that Bandle City does not show mid here. I would imagine that is a Silas jungle. So maybe the Mel was in response to that and they can just hold their picks a little bit secret here and then maybe look for a counter pick later. They're blinding the Mbessa. Oh, I guess like
Renekton is out.
yeah, that is true. I guess Renekton is out, but I mean Garen is kind of Ooga Booga champion, and if you're not amazing at spacing him, he can just win that matchup sometimes. But they actually locked
And
Poppy.
we picked Poppy. And okay, well, Bandle City might be suffering a little bit. Ambessa, not particularly good into Poppy. Can't really use her passive. It's locked out of almost everything. It's not looking great for Bandle City. We'll have to see if they can pull their draft back in the second half.
So upside so far for Bandle City, they have really strong engage. And I like their damage split so far. Their playstyle is also like really, really similar with how long they want to stay in and everything. So that's a little bit of synergy there. Icathia, though, I think that Poppy by itself kind of makes all of that not super relevant. If the Poppy is good at timing W, which she might not be. I think the Lilia is okay. She's really good into engage comps, but you need a pretty strong front line a lot of the time to find the value from her. But I think Mel here, unless you're like insanely good on Mel, I think that he might kill himself on accident a few times here, which would be really unfortunate because both Leona and Silas have buttons that would accidentally just kill you if you try to reflect it.
Yeah, I mean, it's worth keeping in mind, by the way, that Poppy hard counters both Silas and Mbessa. Because when Poppy has W up, Silas can't use W or E.
Poppy is also super good into Leona too, because even if Leona opens with ult and finds a stun or something, she can't follow up with her stun there. But I think that Poppy might be a little bit overextended in terms of where she wants to be in fights. So like maybe Bandle City can look for that. But if she just like holds W for like mid fight, all of a sudden her W is going to probably knock up like 3 people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Poppy, extremely big value here. And we get a Zaya as well. Nicathia's team looks absolutely terrifying.
Who is drafting for Icathia? This draft is really good, actually. Wow. I don't agree with the Mel, but I think Zai is like literally the best ADC you can pick here, right? Into a full engage comp like this. It's also not a very good ult for Silas either. So wow. Very, very good draft so far.
Yeah, looks like we got Caitlyn Leona.
Oh,
I mean, Bandle City's draft is not bad.
I guess that like Kai'Sa's gone. And you don't really want to do like Callista Zeri because they're not amazing, and even then they're super hard to play. Gwen.
Gwen into Poppy.
Man, so the last 2 picks for Bandle, I understand like picking the first 3, like they have really synergistic play styles. They all go in, they all like stay in for the same amount of time, and you know you might be able to overextend Poppy. Oh my god, that is not what?
There's no way we pick Aurelia.
What is happening? Okay, so
We're actually running out of champions here a little bit.
for both teams, the last like 2 games, I hate the last picks like consistently because Caitlyn and Gwen are not very good with the rest of Bandle City here. They don't like have the same playstyle. You normally want a harder engaged ADC here, and Caitlyn does not want to play super aggressive like the rest of Bandle City wants to play. And Gwen is also normally better into teams that want to run into her, but Icathia doesn't necessarily even need to do that, and they can play to peel super well, and they outrange Bandle City. So Gwen is just going to have to run in a straight line and pop W early, which is super bad for a mid fight. But
Gwen
Icathia
is
locking Irelia,
Come back stronger.
which is like I think really bad
the
in this
worst,
game.
one of the worst champions you could probably lock here. I understand maybe you want AD and you don't know how to play Zed or Yone, but Irelia extremely horrible into Silas, Leona, Ambessa, and Gwen. And Caitlyn to some extent as well. Like Aurelia just not very good here, but Gwen is also extremely bad. Gwen really struggles, as you said, to catch anyone. She is bad into Lilia, it's a known counter. She's also not good into Poppy because you can't press E during the Poppy W, and that's a huge part of how you have to play Gwen. And also, if Mel reflects your R3, you just pop yourself, so it's just not great.
I do think like maybe the really good part of Gwen here, neither jungler has done this yet, but if you just hit camps on Gwen, you can get really far ahead in the jungle. And Lily's clear, to be honest, is not super easy. And even then, it's not the fastest clear in the world. So maybe you can just get to late game Gwen and just stat check everyone. But even then, I don't think Gwen is going to be like a free champion. There's so many tools that Icathia has to just outplay Gwen in general. But even I just I think the Caitlyn pick is going to feel just really bad going on in the game here because I think that you almost never want to walk into a Icathia. Sure, you have range, but you're still going to get hit by that Mel if you ever really try to auto. And I guess it's like safer into Irelia, but you can't follow the rest of your team where they want to go. You kind of have to like stand in the back by yourself. And Icathia does absolutely have tools in that Irelia to get on him, but the Irelia actually has to get on him, and that Irelia pick has to go through 4 counters, which is not going to be easy.
Yeah. The drafts just look very questionable this game. Caitlyn, known to be able to one-shot herself off of Mel W.
Very true. Let's see if they're able to execute. I'm really actually interested to see where the Gwen is going to go or how fast he's going to play, because Gwen is one of the biggest bait champions, not in terms of like you want to gank, but if you often gank on Gwen, you fall so far behind because all that champion can do a lot of the time is just clear, but she has a really fast clear, especially going on later in the game. So like maybe the Gwen just like goes bot, like plays a little bit peaceful. But I think once that Lilia really starts going, especially after 6, like Bandle City is going to get 4-man ulted at some point, and that's just going to feel horrible.
Yeah, so the Gwen changes that shipped in this most recent patch actually rebalanced her into more of a late game champion. They made her tankier and she's slightly weaker early. But what that also means is her early clear is a lot weaker than it used to be in her previous iteration. So Gwen's clear is actually pretty bad at the moment.
Oh,
It's not unplayable, but it's not good.
I think Bandle City may want to uh, suffer a little bit then. I don't know, because if Gwen's unable to clear quickly, I don't even know what she would do in the jungle earlier here. Like, I guess like as the game goes on, you're gonna ramp up, but Bandle City needs to be strong in the mid game because that's where almost all of them spike. If you're not strong on that timer, you're almost never going to at scale that Zaya. And because you're going Gwen, your early game is probably going to be worse if Lilia clears a lot faster because she's just going to be on the map more.
Lilia's clear is actually also pretty slow. As far as junglers are concerned, her clear is not great. I think the bigger problem with Gwen and Lilia is they both clear relatively unhealthily. So they're vulnerable to being invaded and like destroyed early game, but against each other they don't necessarily have this issue. It just so happens that Lilia is a lot better later on to Gwen,
Gwen
just
doesn't
because
build
you can
Faded
never
Ashes
catch
though,
her.
right?
No, Gwen. What you used to do when you played Gwen jungle and it was good was you would start on the Raptor camp and then you would do a full you do a full clear from Raptors, take the top scuttle, and then immediately get your Raptors reset clear at like I think it's like 3:30 or whatnot. So after you clear the then you would immediately go back to bot side. You would clear your Raptors, your Krugs again, and then you would recall, and it would give you a Blasting Wand and also a Dark Seal, and then you would be able to start playing the game.
The problem though is that if she, especially if she has to go Nashers first, she doesn't have the same cheat code that Lilia does, where if Lilia just kills Scuttle, she'll have 900 gold exactly, and then her clear is pretty good. But if Gwen has to 8 camp, or in that situation, I think it'd be like 9 camping with Scuttle. That sounds really hard if your base stats are low. Like you would have to back, I think, before that to even make your like your second clear, even where clear to viable. So I think like I don't know what the changes were. I'll have to look at them actually. But if Gwen is going to struggle doing that 8 camp, she's going to want to cry.
I think she should still be able to do it, because back when I played a lot of Gwen jungle, you could do the 8 camp basically on full HP at the end of it. It's just that when you're clearing your you would start Raptors, and when you're clearing your top side, you're pretty low and you're pretty vulnerable. It should be possible. I think Gwen jungle is probably playable, though it's a lot weaker than it used to be.
I
More so,
will.
I actually don't even think that Gwen will do an 8 camp clear properly. We're probably just going to see like a standard full clear at half HP into like a recall with for like Lich Bane components. I might even wager that they're going to build not AP but attack speed, which is actually a lot worse. So we'll see how that works.
Let's hope we see some action there. I'm going to run really fast. I will be right back. Game starts in 1 minute, so I should be back by then.
To all of you watching, do you believe that Bandle City will be able to claw back a game, or are we going to be stuck with a 3-0 from Icathia? Oh, it is true. It could be Ambessa jungle, or even Silas jungle. Perhaps they've decided that we don't want to play Ambessa into Poppy, so we're going to send Gwen into Poppy, which is also not a good matchup. I think the bigger issue that Bandle City runs into is that all 3 of their solo laner slash jungler champions, they can flex anywhere they want for the most part. Gwen can't go mid, but they all lose to Poppy, so it doesn't really matter. They all lose to Poppy, and they all beat Aurelia. Well, Silas doesn't quite beat Aurelia, but it's winnable. Silas does not have any good ults to steal this game. That is true.
Okay, I have returned. Let me make sure the stream is working.
It looks like it is Gwangul, as we suspected.
Gwungle.
And we're gonna have to see who gets put into the gulag. It's probably gonna be Ambessa. We're looking for what might be an invade here from the side of Icathia. Or at least a 5-point stack or 5-man stack.
Wasn't Booz playing jungle last game?
Booz was playing jungle last game, so it looks like our TF player have swapped out of mid lane, maybe a bit scared after the pounding that he took there, and is going to relegate himself to the jungle where he can scale more safely. Gwen choosing to opt for the red jungle item, which is actually probably the worst jungle item you can go in this game. Red typically not very good unless you are playing against characters that just run into you.
Okay, I think the sides are correct now, and I have to reorganize everything.
Neither jungler opting for a health pot early is quite interesting. And Gwen is going to do a standard red side clear. We'll have to see if she actually clears in time.
Am I crazy, or is mill support really bad right now? I heard that it was quite bad.
I also feel like I've heard that somewhere. a trade coming out. Colonel Combo does not have 4 stacks and is going to just auto trade, cancels 2 auto attacks. A disastrous trade here, actually, from Colonel Combo.
I need to fast forward.
Let's fast forward to the end here. I'm as far as it'll go.
254.
Yes, that is correct. Poppy going to invade Gwen. Gwen going very low. Can't has the W. Is forced to just run away, but Poppy might be in a bit of trouble here. Silas is coming to help. Sua maybe looking for a flash out. Actually, ease to get out. Silas looks for the re-engage here. Sua flashes out. Now Silas stunned up. Goes down to Colonel Combo. Hockey Boys is here. Not able to get the kill. Not able to get the last auto. Oh, Blue Buff actually finishes off Colonel Combo of the Hockey Boys. Goes down to the Lilia, who might have an opportunity here to steal away the Gwen's buffs. A disastrous early game situation, honestly, for the Gwen.
Gwen, at least, though, does not look like Manny is going to take the buffs. Gwen able to go top and probably get that. Oh, but this recall stop is so bad for Mbessa, actually. He's going to miss a top wave.
It is absolutely horrid. She might be able to TP back and get it. Her wave does look like it'll catch before it crashes.
I don't think Sua's pushing, so it'd be fine. Although the wave is neutral, so that means actually I think still going to drop that wave.
The wave is neutral, slightly favored for blue side, but Sua going to push it back in. Mel missing quite a bit, opting to TP here.
A little bit of a fight here, bot. Cat is just auto-attacking Rogue, and Rogue taking almost half health damage from that. That is a difficult trade into a Mel, especially. With all the stacks
Hockey
built.
Boys falling for the first mistake on Gwen, trying to gank a Poppy. Wasting so much time as his bot side is up right now. This is just not what you want to be doing on the Gwen. You just need to get your camps cleared. You need to get that gold accelerated. Lilia up so much already up a camp, going to be ahead a ton of tempo here.
Oh my god, I was going to say, like, that early kill is actually really good for Hockey, even if they're
Gwen's
down
gonna
two.
keep looking. You have to wonder if they're actually
No
going to be able
way.
to kill Sua.
my
Sua
God.
actually walks back, chooses to die in an unfortunate fashion. Hockey Boys takes a lot of damage from these minions here. Not going to die, though. Lilia has a great invade angle if she chooses to opt for it.
She has
Does
to go
not
for
look
Raptors,
like she
right?
will.
Surely
Probably-
you go for Raptors.
Oh no, Lilia's trying to do an early solo Ocean
Oh,
Drake on Lilia without Faded Ashes, actually rushing Haunting Guys for her first item.
She
It looks like we're really scraping the bottom of our champion pools right here.
No, Haunted Guys is so bad early on jungle.
We're
That
going
feels
Haunting
bad.
Guys Lilia
Oh,
to try to
no.
solo an Ocean Drake early, which nerfs your move speed and your attack speed, and we're not even going to have the mana to finish off the dragon.
The game, by the way, if Manny just doesn't do this, the game is almost over because Hockey would be literally like more than a full clear behind after that top play. But because of this dragon, now Hockey, what is Hockey doing?
Hockey, choosing not to clear his jungle once again, goes for a random fight in the bottom lane, really speedrunning his way to a negative lead here. Going to venture into the river, see if the dragon is still up. Oh no, we're farming the ward instead.
All junglers,
As
please.
After Manny chooses not to get ahead, Hockey actually hands the lead back to Manny and says, I do not want to be back in the game. Chooses to put himself further behind than we initially expected. Now that is quite an interesting sequence.
All junglers, please just go hit camps. You don't need to do anything. Just go hit camps. Especially
Colonel
on
Combo
Gwen.
ults Boozasaurus under the tower to see if he can find anything. An ult for a moral victory, I suppose. Possibly an intimidation tactic.
It was zoning. It was zoning. I do think we're seeing the result of both champion pools and stamina. The games have been going on for about 2 hours now. So I think Bandle City and Icathia are both kind of feeling that. But honestly, if Bandle City is just able to get Gwen to like just keep hitting her camps over and over again and just keep tempo high, she might actually be able to just go far enough in this game where she's going to be super strong, because it does not look like either team is going to play like super cleanly, and I don't think the game is going to end soon.
Gwen looking for an invade with Prio in neither lane, trying to invade the level 6 Lilia while she herself is level 5. A very interesting choice to go for here. Going to instead decide that she doesn't want to die just yet. Instead going to go top lane to see if she can find anything on the level 6 Poppy who gets hit by the Ambessa ult and is just
No.
going to ult both of them away immediately. As Daddy's working is going to die to the Leona under the towers. Mel actually tried to roam.
This is my favorite game I've ever watched.
Gwen put to sleep, stunned up, and actually gets killed. Bandle City routed in the top lane to try to get grubs.
Oh, okay, so Grubs will go down. That's 2 objectives for Icathia. But if they didn't have those objectives, I think Manny would be 500 CS up at this point. But he is still up 400 gold, even so. At least, though, the Caitlyn has a massive lead in bot lane. The Zaya's having a really hard time. That lane is not easy, but I think part of that goes to Mel just being not very good right now on support, and then Mel also playing into Leona, which is a mega hard matchup, to be honest. So I think the game is honestly not over because this is not an easy situation to try to play ADC into.
Yeah, you can say that again. Gwen finally hitting level 6 here.
So, oh yeah, just to update chat, Icathia has 2 wins right now. This is a best of 5. My software is not feeling like updating at all right now, so I can't like make it display wins.
Lilia choosing to recall to interrupt her full clear when she could have cleared red and then just full cleared down, chooses instead to recall for Leandry so she can go take blue buff and clear up.
Okay, so
A stun lands on the Zaya, the trap goes down, she is trapped and she is killed. Gwen here as well, going to look for Cthulhu who flashes and heals, but it's just not enough and she's going to go down to double kill going over to Rogue.
this would be a really fun game to take a shot every time a jungler interrupts the clear. I think my life would be over at this point. Uh-oh.
Clearing is optional in this game. Manny
Oh
chooses
my
to
God.
not clear the jungle and instead clear the bot lane minion wave, misses the Q, not able to find anything, throws a bowling ball into the wall. Colonel Combo is here now, going to look for a stun, but it's out of range, flashes to try to land it, but Rogue able to flash away. Now Buzasaurus is here, starts going in on the Lilia, has the Lilia ultimate, going to maybe kill her, no. Lilia flashes out to safety as Colonel Combo is left alone to fight 3 people. Lilia sleeping over the wall, but Blast Cone's back inside. Sleeps the Gwen and is going to take the Gwen down, but kills herself in the process.
Oh, I'm almost crying.
We are going. Wow.
The gold
Now
is
that was a
even.
sequence for sure. The gold is dead even after that.
And both jungles are basically fully up at this point too. Both junglers are playing full clears, and both jungles are just completely up. Oh,
Both junglers seem to be having a bit of a contest to see who can lose faster. Speed running to the airport. Daddy's working, flashes away, manages to escape with 0 HP, but is just going to go down to Rogue as Cthulhu not in time to block, but it is in time to catch the Leona stun to the face and goes down as well. Chooses to join Daddy's working in the grave.
neither jungle went to clear their camp.
As Manny is back bot lane to clear the wave instead of his jungle.
The only full clears have been the first clears. There has not been a unified clear since then, and both jungles are almost fully up after that fight bot side, and neither jungler deploys into their jungle. They both deploy
But
into
you see,
lanes.
this is why we're employing rubber band XP. If both junglers get behind, they get more value from the XP that they get. When Rogue actually might be in a bit of trouble here. 3 members coming to kill him. He has nothing and is probably just going to die here. They're trying to give the kill to someone. Maybe Daddy's working, and he is going to be able to pick up the kill on Rogue. As Icathia looks to start up the dragon. And Gwen going for the first invade of the game, going to try to steal away Lilia's raptors. Unfortunately, her own raptors are up, so this may just be like a jungler map trade or a
Okay,
side trade.
this feels good. At least we have like we're trading sides now. We're getting drag. The dragon's not going to take a super long time, and then we also have the top camps being traded for it. I like it. I don't
The
know if
dragon
like
will probably take a long time because Lilia has used all of her mana and it's mountain tree. It's still not dead. Okay, fine.
okay, well we do eventually get it, and now maybe we're going to see a clear up. I think they had information too on top, on the top jungle.
Oh, we dodged the ult this time from the Poppy, and Gwen might be able to pick up a kill. Does pick up a kill on the Poppy. How exciting, how exciting. Gwen able to bring herself back into the game. And is actually even in gold with the Lilia now, who is making her way through the jungle.
Hockey just got a lot from that, got the top camps and also that kill, so really not that far behind in gold at this point. And then especially after Nashers, I think her clear picks up a lot. So, oh, Manny's bot again.
Manny is bot again, though this time his jungle is down. Going to just leave. Gwen opting for the hidden strategy where instead of killing Gromp and then clearing down, you kill the Gromp, you recall, and then you do a full clear up to back to the Gromp.
So actually,
We're going in here on Cthulhu, who gets hit by a trap, eats the headshot. Perfect timing.
oh,
Daddy is working, going to block, but Cthulhu's going to eat a second stun. Taken so very low, as Daddy's working actually lands a huge E onto Rogue and takes Rogue down under the tower as they try to chase. Gwen is here, but not able to do anything under the tower. A disastrous fight that looked initially good for Bandle City.
so Manny actually didn't know his top side is gone, so now he's going to do Scuttle and then probably wrap back around for red buff. But Hockey has a lot of information. I'm curious what he's going to try to do.
Well, the answer is that he's going to try to clear the bot jungle elation. Or the bot minion wave, I should say.
Oh, and a huge dive mid. That's going to be a lot lost for combo, to be honest there. Oh, and they actually do
Hockey is actually
successfully
going to dive the enemy bot lane.
Oh!
And is going to die under the tower with his entire jungle up once again.
That's really unfortunate, too, because they... Oh, Caitlyn's top here. Oh.
Kaelin's top, maybe able to get some kills. Actually gets no kills and just goes down. Blade Aurelia able to do so much damage. Leona 4-0.
I was going to say, like, the play would have been super good for bot, because if they were able to get the wave in, it's fine, but both Gwen and Caitlyn were dead, so they weren't actually to both get the wave in, but also get the XP for it that they wanted. And then I think Caitlyn went top to try to help with that play, but also goes down, so now the tempo on Bandle City is really low.
Yeah, Gwen may be a little bit confused here, not quite understanding. Going down back to bot lane instead of her own jungle. Maybe, she must have thought her Krugs were up, but she forgot that she herself killed them right before dying in the bot lane dive, as Icathia is just going to take the Rift Herald.
Okay, oh no, oh wait.
The Ambessa lands on the Lilia, but Ambessa gets knocked away as Lilia simply flashes out.
Good all from Sua. I think that fight would have been disastrous for them. So I think disengaging there feels really good, because a lot of Bandle City was ready to fight there. Where's Bandle City going? I think they're trying to... Oh, they're getting red buff, I think, and maybe trying to play for the Aurelia, but the Aurelia is backing out right now. Both junglers still really close in gold here. Oh, and a trade here on the top side, Sua. Trying to use W. I'm a little bit worried about Sua scaling super well into this game, because once Sua becomes really, really strong, eventually that W is going to be a huge problem, especially... Oh, because there's going to be a fight bot here, though. Combo just going to get instantly melted by the side of Bandle City. And they do actually get the kill there onto Caitlyn, so maybe she can look to do more in this game. If she gets strong, she's going to be unstoppable, but she has to be pretty far ahead, especially with how much gold that Combo has right now.
Indeed, indeed.
Both junglers going to fight in the river. Let's see if Hockey is going to be able to kill Manny. Did Manny just R?
I'm
Wait, what?
not sure. It looks like Manny might have just ulted. Going to go down. A Leona picking up a 5th kill. A 5-0 Leona here.
Chrono Break? What just happened? Was that a... Wait, does Gwen W stop Lilia R?
Yes, so if Gwen is in her W and Lilia is not, the ult will not hit because she is untargetable.
Oh, that is so weird. Oh, because it's
Liliana
also a
ult actually
projectile, right?
fires a projectile, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Cocky Boy looking on Colonel Combo might not be the fight you want when you're down 2 levels.
Hockey actually able to stay relatively close in gold, which I think will be huge in this game specifically on a champion like that where gold matters so much. And I think as long as Icathia does not have a huge gold lead, Bandle City feels pretty good because even though their comp is not amazing in late
They're
game,
gonna
they still
find
have 2.
Hockey here and perhaps Hockey pops a W to stay alive, but Sua is staring them down in the bush. All 5 members are here. This may be a big fight over the dragon here. The first relatively close dragon fight that Bandle City has been getting this entire series. We'll have to see how this turns out. We're positioning very close to the wall, very close to the
Oh.
Poppy. A big stun lands, a giant Poppy W, a huge snare, and Bandle City is just taken down so low. They're all just getting absolutely melted, but Gwen is still pretty healthy, does not have any Q, and Bandle City just gets wiped.
A 5 for O. Looks like they might be trying to end, but I don't think they actually have time to do that. That was an insane Poppy W, like you said. That was, I think it stopped 4 people or something like that from actually engaging, which, I mean, immediately the fight looked over at that point. I don't even know how Bandle City has to play around that because they have to make sure they're not standing on each other, but if they split up too much, I think they get melted as individuals, so really hard situation for them.
I mean, yeah, they all got stopped and grounded, and then they all got snared by the Mel route. And then they just lost.
Extremely difficult situation
They
for them.
got grounded in a line, and then Mel rooted them all.
I think this Poppy pick is really showing how insane it is at this point. I think also once that Aurelia is getting a bigger and bigger lead, that champion's not going to be stoppable.
We're trying to kill Manny, but she's just too fast. Nobody able to catch him. As it looks like Bandle City might be speed running the Booze Bash airport here very soon.
Let's see if they can make any plays on the map. They still have a decent amount of CC, and if Poppy isn't there, maybe they can look for something. But I think that Sua has been wherever he needs to be on perfect timers and is still holding on to TP. And even if Bandle City finds a good engage, all of the members right now on Icathia are pretty strong and difficult to kill. And even though Xayah is behind, he's still playing Xayah. So, you know, even if you find a good engage on him, he's still going to ult and then delay the fight even longer. So really hard for Bandle City to look for openings at this point. Although they're going to look for a combo right here, I think. Nope, they decided not to. Probably a good idea.
Humble, maybe just a little bit too scary. I honestly think the only way that Bandle City can play this game is to try to look for side lane pressure. It's virtually impossible in the 5v5 in this enemy team combo going to go in on the Ambessa. Takes her so low, instantaneous Ambessa forced to flash out. There's just nothing she can do. The Aurelia so far ahead with so much damage. As Bandle City going to pick up an Otacon here. Or not Bandle City, Icathia.
Yeah, 5,000 gold difference in the mid lane here. In the bot lane, for Bandle City is ahead by 3k, but 2,000 of that is just on the chase, on the Leona. So difficult to, I think, express that gold lead as well as you'd want to. And I'm really happy, though, we saw that from Bandle City. I think going for side laning at this point is important and really smart to do, because a lot of people will just stand and then look at the enemy team, do objectives, realize they can't contest it, and leave. So at least getting something on that timer feels much better than just being forced to just watch the enemy team do something. But I mean, combo is 5,000 gold ahead. I don't know if anyone could stop him at this point. Even if you CC him, I don't know if they have the damage to actually finish him before he will kill the team.
It may be possible with 5 people. They do have a lot of CC, but the bigger problem is if they kill Colonel Combo, his team's still alive. He's not the only one that's hard to kill. Lilia also a huge pain. If you use your CC on Lilia, you won't have it for Colonel Combo, and vice versa.
Yeah, that's very true. And the whole time, the Mal and Xayah are just going to be pumping so much damage. I think that if Icathia wasn't this far ahead, then the 5v5 might even be in favor a little bit of Bandle City, because, you know, if Gwen is, I think at this point in the game, pretty strong, she would be looking to do a lot of damage, especially into the melees. But I think now that that Irelia is so strong, I think they, like you said, they have to look for side lane pressure, but I don't even know how they look for that at this point either, because you have to have more than one person deal with combo at this point.
Combo just taking no damage from Buzosaurus. A full rotation, barely doing 300 damage. They're going to go on Sua now, who's stunned up. Going to flash out. Combo goes into 5 people, CC'd and is killed. Shutdown going to the Ambessa. Sua running away. But a flash going in, a smite to slow, and Hockey Boys is going to take him down. A shutdown again going to the Silas.
Insanely good play from Bandle City. That is so huge for them, because it looked like Icathia was just going to overload bot side and just be unkillable. No one can match them. But Bandle City does a 5-man rotation. Bot is able to catch them both out, gets the shutdowns, and they're not back in the game completely, but all of a sudden it's a lot closer than it was even 2 minutes ago.
And Need and Gwen able to get a little bit of farm back to counter jungling the Lilia's bot side.
Even the wave states were great for that too, because Icathia was not able to get anything on the map. There was no neutral for them to quickly collapse on there, and then all the waves were pushed into the mid and top. So I think great play from Bandle City, great look, but I think going forward, it's going to be difficult to look for that again, because I really doubt Icathia is going to get caught out like that going forward in the game, because I think that feels a lot more impactful to the players, so I don't think that they're going to want that.
Lilia taking very low, walks into the trap, taking down just 400 HP. Caitlyn doing a lot of damage here. Sua walking his team in here on the Poppy. Aurelia does have a flank angle. Lilia forced to recall, as perhaps Bandle City will be able to secure this dragon for themselves. Sua over the wall taking some damage here. Hockey Boys pops the W's, begins hitting them, and they have no Aurelia, they have no Lilia, and Bandle City going to find a winning fight here.
That's a huge pick too on Poppy. That's the one that makes the 5v5 so difficult. So
truly, but now can they take down Colonel Combo? Colonel Combo finds an early attack onto Rogue, but Rogue does manage to escape. Flashes out. Manny's here now, going to look for the sleep. Gwen goes down. Colonel Combo still alive. Rogue taken very low, chased down by the Lilia, going to die. And Bessa manages to take down the Aurelia, but it's just not enough. Colonel Combo is too strong. The Aurelia and the Lilia able to carry a 3v5 on their backs and secure the soul.
Really hard fight, because I think Rogue had to flash out almost immediately because of Combo's damage, and then probably didn't feel comfortable looking to walk back in, because any single Q from Irelia would just instantly kill him. And when he was not autoing Irelia, there's really no one else who's able to damage him too much. So unfortunate fight, I would say, for the side of Bandle City, where it looked super good, especially with the 2 picks at the beginning, but it just wasn't quite enough.
Yeah, use a lot for those picks, but they just weren't wary enough of Colonel Combo, who, mind you, has been performing exceptionally well this series, really putting the team on his back.
Yeah, I think in every game, Combo has been insane. In that first game on Nefiri, finding some really insane plays, and I think we might have a fight here over the Baron, though.
Maybe a fight here. Hockey Boy forced a pop W, going to run away, but is slowed. Pops the ultimate, a big stun coming out from the Leona. Manny taken very low, but not going to die. Hockey Boy forced to run away here, and Leona actually goes down.
Manny got to 1 health there, too. Almost died to the last auto, and then the ult wasn't quite able to connect from a block, so able to get away just with a little bit of health there, and because...
Hockey Boy going to go in, dodges the Lilia ultimate,
what?
Misses the Q, gets the kill anyway.
What? What killed him? An auto?
The Gwen auto attack right after the Q, because Gwen gets an auto, basically a free auto right after a Q ends.
Might see another pick here on the
coming out. Sua fighting 2 people, but going to go down anyway. Caitlyn's doing a little bit too much damage.
I think Bandle City
going to look for this bot side.
Doing insane right now, making sure the game is not over.
His side lane pressure extremely potent. Hockey Boy picking up an extra wave for himself. Daddy's working, trying to chase him down. It's Hockey Boy probably gonna get this execute here, actually. An amazing sequence.
And actually, even though the jungle is dead, I don't think Icathia can actually look for anything, because Poppy and Lilia are going to respawn just a little bit too late. Maybe they can look for another big play with Combo, but all of a sudden the gold leads that were jungle and top have gone away completely, and the only remaining gold lead now is in that mid lane. And Irelia is going to kind of start approaching the point in the game now where she's not nearly as strong as she was earlier, and she's also playing into the CC team, which will start being more and more difficult for her to kill.
Indeed, we see that Aurelia seems to be building a Kraken Slayer as opposed to a Wit's End in this game, which may end up being a mistake. Kraken Slayer, very high damage for Aurelia, but not quite as potent on the tankiness.
Oh, and I think at this point in
Caitlyn
the
is
game
going to be
too,
bot lane.
I think it's just a little
Is
bit
it,
too late to even think about Kraken because, I mean, the base damage is going to be so low at this point. I think that you just kind of build full tank at this point, to be honest. But, I
yeah,
mean,
Aurelia really going to struggle a bit here. Busasaurus might not be able to stop her though. Aurelia up 2 levels, forced to drag the Caitlyn down with him to help it, but that means that Icathia has Baron Prio and is able to push the rest of Bandle City out of the Baron. Hits a Q, hits an E onto the Rogue, but Rogue gets out. Colonel Combo now slowed under the tower, taken so low, going to go down to Rogue's ultimate, but Colonel Combo might have done enough. His team is starting up the Baron. Manny coming in to try to contest, but Sua going into zone. Icathia going to pick up the Baron as Hockey Boy begins chasing down Sua. Still has ultimate here. It looks like, but going to get knocked away as it's just Ambessa and and Chase against 4 people. Ambessa immediately gets grounded. Hockey Boy coming back in with the remaining 2 cats of his ultimate, but it's just not enough as Icathia picks up 2 kills and the Baron.
see if they try to end here. I don't think they can. I think that once combo is down, their fight
Caitlyn
is so
pumping
much
out a lot
weaker.
of damage from the backline here. So much damage coming out. We do not have any more juice. Oh,
By God.
Rogue doing a lot of damage, but Cthulhu able to clean it up. Colonel Combo, a valiant sacrifice for his team to get the Baron.
Bandle City is doing an amazing job right now making sure they're not out of this game. Does anyone know if this is a single limb? Is Shimmer single limb or is it double limb? Because I think if Bandle City gets out with this, I think this would be, oh, it's double limb. Okay, so Bandle City doesn't get out with this game, I believe. They are playing their hearts out going into this game, though. I am very impressed with the ability to keep focused here as the game is going farther in.
Truly, we thought they might have been down for the count. We thought that maybe they were demoralized after the first 2 losses, but no, Bandle City demonstrates with their amazing gameplay holding on in this game that they do not give up easily. They are not down for the count and they will fight to the bitter end. Though for the sake of my sleep schedule, I do not hope they win this game. Colonel Combo caught by 4 people here again. This time his team is very far away. Nobody here to help take the Baron. He goes in on Hockey Boy, who goes down quite low, but Colonel Combo just eats a CC chain, going to die once again. The Aurelia falling off quite hard here, and the side lane not able to get them anything this time. As this may end up proving to be quite a disastrous timing for Colonel Combo.
Combo
Who will be
too
dead
is
as the Elder Drake spawns, and his team is here too. Ambessa is not here either, though. Has no TP. Sua goes in on the back, finds Rogue. Rogue is going to die almost instantaneously as Busasaurus also goes down. Hockey Boy is in a very bad spot, and it looks like it's going to be an Elder Drake to the side of Icathia, and that might be the game.
Oh, that feels so rough. I think that you really need Ambessa down there for that fight, but was unable to move down because I think the idea was for them to play slow, but they just didn't have information on Sua, and Sua able to get that flash engage there resulted in it just a huge kill early on, and then the 4v4 just fell apart very quickly for Bandle City.
Icathia not going to go for the Elder, instead going to try to just end the... Sua's grounded, stunned into the wall, and he's going to die. The Ambessa goes down, and now there's nobody defending anymore. Icathia is knocking on Bandle City's base, and it's going to be the game. As after a valiant effort, Bandle City not able to pull it out.
Very difficult game there for Bandle City, but they did an amazing, valiant effort there. At the end, I think they may have heard your call about the sleep schedule, though. You may be saved here. I mean, super, like strong effort towards the end there, finding the picks, playing as a team when they needed to be. And I even like the fight at the end did not feel like it was like a very obvious mistake. I think Ambessa wants to be there for the Elder fight, but if the call is for them to play slow and they don't know that Sua is there, just the game ends right there. But just an amazing way to keep your heads in the game there. I think fantastically executed actually from Icathia too in that last fight. Yeah, I agree. Like I think that this game was probably the highest quality one, especially going on later, because Bandle City looked like they stepped it up a lot, and Icathia was there to match.
Truly, truly. I don't know if we're gonna have any post-game interviews this time around, but if we do, you might have to host them as I need to get ready for bed.
Good luck. Thank you for casting with me. I appreciate it. I
Of
believe
course, it was
Piggies
a pleasure.
appreciates it a lot too.
Okay, okay. Well, I will get out of here. Congratulations to both teams. Congratulations to Icathia for the win and Bandle City on an amazing Game 3 performance. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, is there any mod now, or not mod, is there any captain that would like to do the post-game interview? Also, is the third game actually being casted?
Hello?
Hello.
What's up?
It is the one and only Cody, world famous Zaya player named Daddy's working.
Didn't want Zaya that game.
You didn't want Zaya that game?
No, wanted Ezreal.
Zaya, I think. Oh, I can see Ezreal too. I think Zaya is like a disgustingly good
It
pick,
was
though.
fine. I hated the Leona and Caitlyn.
Yeah,
Just because like Leona ult's like 3 times shorter cooldown than your ult.
yeah. I think
But
lane is
it's
not easy.
fine.
Lane is not easy, but your team fight I think is pretty insane.
Yeah, the roots are pretty gross.
How did you feel in this last game though? Because it looked like it was going to be back and forth there for a little bit, even after like you guys had a huge gold lead. Were you a little bit worried, or were you just very confident all the way through?
I wasn't that worried because like we were trying to scale pretty much up with them. It just like early game kind of sucks. We just need to get to mid game where Caitlyn's not as good. They were kind of just throwing everything at bot lane, so it let like Lilia just run the map sort of top side, so it was kind of fine.
Yeah, Lilia getting a big lead there, and it was difficult to tell just from the scores alone. But Combo was actually ahead 5,000 gold for most of this game.
He's ahead 5k. Oh my god, what was this? Oh, he must have been up at like a bunch of farm.
I think it was farm, but I also think it was towers. He
Oh
was
yeah,
up like
yeah, because he had Hullbreaker too. Yeah,
yeah. I think he got a bunch of plates on top of that as well. So I think that's a big part of it. And because of that, it looked like Combo was going to be immortal. But were you guys worried in that last fight there how it was a 4v5? Did you like call to play slow, play super fast because Mbessa was top? What was that like?
we know they used a lot on combo, and Abessa was still pushing top, and we think she didn't have TP up. And we knew if we got like if we like we called out, we need to get Caitlyn dead, and like we had the flank on her, so it split them up pretty easily for Lilia to get like the two in front, and then combo or Sua pretty much like took Caitlyn all the way out just for like the burn to kill her. So it was really nice that way. And then they were kind of just got collapsed on after the flank. So it was kind of what we planned. We got a little worried that if it didn't go well, we're probably just going to lose. But with 4v5, they're probably just going to take Elder in her face anyway.
And if you remember earlier in that game, there was the 3v5 fight over the drag. Did you guys call to take that fight? Did you call to back out? What were the thumbs up there?
That was another one where they used a bunch to kill combo. Or no, sorry, they used a bunch to kill like Armel and the Poppy, and then Combo said I can go in and like do a bunch of damage. And we're like, okay, sure. And then we got a little worried we were gonna leave because we're like, well, he's probably just gonna get blown up. But he lived a long time, and we were able to get in there and do a bunch of damage. So it kind of just worked out that way.
Yeah, absolutely. That looked really scary, but guys able to pull that one out as well. What did you feel about the series overall? Did you feel like it was intense, or do you feel pretty confident going into the next game here?
I feel pretty confident. Like that game got close, but I think like drafting it could have been a little easier. Like I think if it's like just a couple different champs, then like they can't do as much as they did to like push us out of lane and get that much pressure. And yeah, I think if it went that way, I think like they also kind of picked like a bunch of early game champs. I think if it was similar to like the other games, then it probably just would have been just as easy. But game 1 and 2 felt very easy.
In the second game, did you guys plan to have that full engage comp with Sivir? Because you have that Volley Bear and Hecarim there with it. And then that full engage along with that feels really good. Was that something you guys planned, or did the draft just kind of go that way?
We were confused because they didn't ban Volley Bear. In game 1, they took blue side and they didn't ban it, so we thought they're going to try and first pick it. But then we took blue side and they still didn't ban it. So like we kind of just always want to go volley. Saber's also just like I think the safest blind 80 carry still. So it also just really works really well into like majority of the lanes with Ashe because you can neutralize it. But it just kind of worked out with like the rest of the champions that make them. They have to group, and then like Hecarim and Yasuo also make it hard for them to like walk in anywhere.
Yeah, the Hecarim looked like a monster that game. Once he got ahead, he played so quickly. It was just impossible to deal with him.
Yeah, and then with like Sivir like no one's gonna like outrun him.
Even the Volibear too. Like even though Volley was bleeding for a lot of that game, if he ever grouped with you guys, like the speed that he has with Sivir is almost unbeatable.
Yeah, and their combo's like we tried to do it because their combo's pretty immobile. Like they had 4 champions or 3 champions, I think, without a dash, so it was like pretty easy to get on top of them.
Yeah, and I think did you guys see like the last pick, Kindred? Did you change your plans at all around that?
No, we felt it was like fine. Like we just knew we had to like pressure invades more, but like other than that, it felt like it was fine. We honestly planned to just play top side of the map and leave bot lane and then just trade things, but we got really far ahead and we were able to take the dragons early.
Yeah, that does make sense. There's also the early drag there in that last game as well. You guys did, I think, most of the first dragons of the series, if not all of them.
I think we did.
Looked like you really wanted to get ahead in neutrals, and I think you also got the neutral feat in every game, if I remember right.
I think we did. I think game 1 was a little tight because I think they got grubs game 1, but we got 2 dragons then. Oh no, we got just 3 dragons. I think straight up. I think they got Herald too.
Yeah, that does make sense. Okay, thank you. Did you have any other comments about the series?
Nope. It was pretty fun. GG's everyone. That was about it.
Awesome. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. Make sure you guys catch the, let me see, the next game, which is kind of happening now, I think, on Booze Bash 3. And there is another game happening on Wednesday, which is the knockout game for Freljord and Ishtal. And I do not have the option to host. I am not sure if there is a mod who is able to host Booze Bash 3. I assume
Hopefully.
this DM is from... It is. I probably can't cast right now because that game went a little bit longer than I thought it would, and I do need to get work done for class. But I might be able to cast it later combo if someone else is able to do the earlier parts. Okay, thank you for everyone for watching. Make sure you go watch Booze Bash 3, which should be live right now. Let me just verify. Yes, Booze Bash 3 is live. Okay, so everyone go watch that right now, or else your life will be very sad. Okay, have a good night, everyone.